Chapter 9, 67. Ming Wang had made up his mind outside. Within the king's battlefield, Fang Ping made up his mind. I must kill Qi Huanyu this time. Fang Ping gritted his teeth. If it wasn't for Qi Huanyu, there wouldn't have been so many casualties. Among the leaders of the three factions, Gu Qing and Di Hao had been killed. Qi Huanyu was the only one still alive. It's a pity that my god-slaying saber was taken away. Fang Ping felt a little regretful. If he still had the god-slaying saber, he would still have a high chance of killing Qi Huanyu now. However, the god-slaying saber had been taken away by Ling Xiao. At this moment, he was not confident that he could kill Ling Xiao. At the side, Kong Lingyuan saw that he was collecting the corpses while gritting his teeth, and said with a smile, "There's no need to rush. Qi Huanyu's path is a dead one, but yours is still a long one. If you can't kill him this time, when you reach rank 9, killing him will be a piece of cake." How strong was Fang Ping? Rank 8, however, had the combat power of a top-notch rank 9. At this moment, if the rankings were to be rearranged, Fang Ping would definitely enter the top 10. Fang Ping still had a long way to go. Now that he had reached rank 9, Kong Lingyuan even suspected that there would be the first rank 9 to defeat a Paragon powerhouse. Thinking of this, Kong Lingyuan's curiosity was piqued. She asked telepathically, "Now that you've reached peak rank 9, do you have the confidence to fight a Paragon?" Fang Ping shrugged. "How would I know?" His basic vitality was now more than 180,000 calories. The peak of the 9th refinement would be around 200,000 calories. After achieving rank 9, there would be a transformation that could increase it by at least 20 to 30,000 cal. If it was 30,000 calories, it would be 230,000 calories vitality. Every 100 meters out of origin would increase by 5,000 calories. At origin level 10, it would be almost 280,000 calories of basic vitality. Coupled with the fact that his vitality quality had doubled, he had a vitality of 560,000 calories. At this time, if he were to increase his origin, he would have a vitality strength of 12 million, surpassing the 800,000 calories vitality strength of the weakest absolute peak. The vitality here referred to the quality of rank 9's vitality, not desperation realms. The weakest Paragon was comparable to a rank 9 with 800,000 calories of vitality. Emperor level, on the other hand, was a vitality of the absolute peak of 1,000,000 cal, comparable to a rank 9's 2 million calories vitality quality. Fang Ping calculated in his heart for a while. He had reached rank 10 origin. If the origin could be amplified, then he could really fight the Paragon. What he was worried about now was, what if the origin did not increase? This was not an unfounded worry. A certain someone didn't show any signs of growth. Old Man Li. Old Man Li had stepped into the origin realm, but his vitality did not increase. His basic vitality was as high as 180,000 calories, comparable to an ordinary rank 9's 360,000 calories. His control was not low either. He would be more powerful than Qi Huanyu if his origin was enhanced. However, the 10,000 daos, as one had its limitations. Old Man Li was equivalent to a pure body honing if he continued down the path of origin. Although there would be a qualitative change in his body, there was no increase in combat strength. I hope that won't happen to me. Fang Ping mumbled to himself. Otherwise, even if he reached rank 10 origin, his vitality would only have a strength of 560,000 calories, which was not as good as a desperation realm. At that time, he would be invincible among the rank 9, but he would not be able to fight beyond his level in the true sense. Fang Ping exhaled and cursed in his heart. My rank 8 foundation is so strong. If I still can't fight someone of a higher rank, Is there still justice in this world? After collecting the loot, Fang Ping said, "Let's go. Continue to kill." He had to enter the realm battlefield as soon as possible. The two kings definitely had other arrangements. Although the Divine Court army has appeared this time, it isn't the full force of the two kings. "Be careful," Li Daong interrupted. "We've shifted their people a few times. Most of the weak ones have been killed. The ones left are all very strong. Be careful that Qi Huanyu will beat us at our own game and kill us." Fang Ping nodded slightly. They still had 70 people on their side. Qi Huanyu had more than 250 people on his side. The difference in combat strength was still very big. If the shift failed and they barged into their camp, it would be very easy to get into trouble. Therefore, Fang Ping had to keep an eye on the compass at all times to prevent accidents from happening. While Fang Ping and the others were continuing their search, Qi Huanyu looked at the people around him and said darkly, "Useless. There are dozens of them. Don't they have the ability to kill a few? If this goes on, we will be nibbled away one by one. The divine land is the strongest force, but now we have become someone else's prey." At this point, Qi Huanyu looked at the people in the crowd and shouted, "Martial artists below rank 5 of Divine Path, keep your spirits up. Don't get separated again. The rest of you, protect me, Fang Ping, and the others will come again. This time, we won't kill Fang Ping or the resurrected martial artists. Kill the overseas immortal islands, outland, and land of bounded boundaries powerhouses." Fang Ping had his own selfish motives. He protected the resurrected martial artists more, and the others less. There was a difference between intimacy and alienation. If we kill everyone else, what can the few people left in the land of rebirth do to us? Hall Master Qi. At this time, someone in the crowd said in a low voice, "Hall Master, I'm afraid you've forgotten our original intention. We came here to seize treasures, not to kill the enemy. Now, we've put the cart before the horse. If we had gone to the space battlefield earlier, we would not have suffered such heavy casualties. If this goes on, even if we kill all the resurrected martial artists, what can we do?" In the end, our mission still failed. The person who spoke was from Skyplant's royal court. This person was not the only one who was dissatisfied. In the crowd, there were powerhouses under the command of other true kings who were also dissatisfied. Hall Master Qi, Hall Master Yang is right. Is it necessary for us to focus on killing the resurrected martial artists? The war with the land of rebirth has been going on. If they wanted to, they could have done it at any time. Why did they have to fight them now? Right now, the two kings' trump cards are still unknown. We've suffered such heavy losses. For the sake of the Hall Master's selfish motives, we've already suffered heavy losses. If this goes on, not only will we not be able to seize the treasures, but in the end, how many of us can leave this place alive? That's right. Hall Master Qi, if this goes on, how are we going to explain to the true kings? The true kings don't care. The G family has a big business. We don't have the G family's confidence. Everyone discussed animatedly. Their dissatisfaction was clear in their words. Qi Huanyu sighed softly in his heart. He could not blame these people for making things difficult. Too many people had died. 900 rank, 8 and rank, 9 people came in. Now, more than 250 people survived. Not even 30%. They were afraid of killing. Even if there were not many people on Fang Ping's side now, these people were really a little afraid. Although he knew that everyone was afraid, Qi Huanyu still tried his best to persuade them. Everyone, the hatred between us and the land of rebirth is absolutely irreconcilable. Especially Sky Plant's royal court. Do you really think that if you don't kill them, they will let us go? Fang Ping will seek revenge for the smallest grievance. He killed the martial artists who were resurrected. He will definitely take revenge until the end. Now that things have come to this, can't you see it? Fang Ping is the biggest threat. He has not entered God General yet. Once he does, I'm afraid even I won't be a match for him. Qi Huanyu's gaze was solemn. If we don't kill him now, he will enter true king and become the next martial king. When that time comes, a full-scale war will break out. With Fang Ping's ability, can he still kill him? Some people disagreed. That's not our business anymore. It's the true king's business. Some things did not concern them. They did not want to say much. There were so many true kings in God's land. Why did the true kings not attack? Why did they have to exchange their lives for his? How many people had died this time? In the catacombs, God generals were also high and mighty, but now they had all become cannon fodder. Their deaths were not worth it. Seeing this, Qi Huanyu felt even more helpless. Hatred, a bunch of cowards who were afraid of death. All these years in God's land, no wonder there were very few true kings. If they were like this, how could they advance? Everyone knew that Fang Ping was a threat, but they wanted others to do it while they watched the show. A peerless prodigy had grown up right under their noses. From possessing high-ranked combat strength in the past, in just a short period of time, he had become a top-notch existence below true king. Was this speed not shocking enough? A bunch of idiots. Qi Huanyu cursed in his heart, but he knew what these people were thinking. They felt that it had nothing to do with them. However, they did not consider that the war had broken out for so many years. With Fang Ping's personality, would he let these people go? Would he let the Heavenly Plant's royal court powerhouses go? Forget it. Qi Huanyu sighed in his heart and said quickly, "Let's go to the space battlefield then. Everyone, be careful." He could not be bothered to say anything else. If they went to the space battlefield, Fang Ping and the rest would definitely go too. They would encounter each other again. Killing was only a matter of time. Too many powerhouses had already died in this godforsaken place. This time, if Life King did not get the biggest benefit, it would be a huge loss. Now, Qi Huanyu was a little curious. What trump card did Life King prepare? Putting aside the fact that the two kings were not to be trifled with, there were so many powerhouses coming this time. How was Life King going to deal with them? Also, Life King was bent on killing the two kings. Was it really for the two kings' Dao, or was it something else? Just as Qi Huanyu and the rest were moving toward the depths of the second palace, Fang Ping also noticed that they had changed direction and quickly chased after them. The killing was still going on. Fang Ping led the rest and followed them from afar. They did not go near. If there was a chance, they would forcefully move a few people and engage in the killing. If there was no chance, they would follow and hide behind like hunting dogs. Qi Huanyu, who was in front, seemed to have given up on fighting him. He did not care and kept moving forward. At the same time, second palace. In the deepest part of the palace, in a basilica, two thrones sat high above. At this moment, two silhouettes appeared on the thrones. Below them, more than 10 powerhouses shouted in unison, "Greetings, Master God! Master God, the Master of Divine Continent, the Master of Pantheon." The two kings' silhouettes were still illusory. On the left, a silhouette said slowly, "Generals, rise." When everyone straightened up, the powerhouse on the left, with an indifferent voice, continued, "General Dihao has fallen. The Pantheon army has been completely annihilated. Since the founding of Pantheon, the Pantheon army has been fighting for 7,000 years. I was planning to rebuild the Pantheon army after coming out of seclusion, but unexpectedly, all the last seeds have fallen. Alas! Tianming, there are some things that need not be said." The voice of the person on the right was cold, and it was hard to tell whether he was male or female. The one on the left was the Tianming monarch, and the one on the right was the Tianji monarch. In the past, the two kings had led the remnants of the earth emperor-god dynasty away from divine continent and came to the desolate border, where they established the Tianji monarch and the Tianming royal court. Under such circumstances, the continuation of the existence of the earth emperor-god dynasty was enough to prove their strength and courage. At that time, beyond Avalon, the outer sea immortal islands and the bounded boundaries had not been destroyed, and the bounded boundaries were still at their strongest. The two kings had still allowed the earth emperor-god dynasty to continue, which was more difficult than others had imagined. The Tianji monarch interrupted Tianming. Soon, he waved his hand, and a huge screen appeared in front of everyone. There was no longer a red dot on it. Instead, a few human figures were revealed. They were similar to the sky screen, and one could even see their appearances clearly. This was the hub of the entire king battlefield, the core. The compass was just an object that had been split off. At this moment, the screen showed both sides. Although General Dihao has fallen, he has killed many invaders. The Sky Plant King said. Very quickly, Fang Ping's image on the screen was magnified a lot. Tianji King said coldly, "This man is the leader of the human world this time." He was also the one who killed Dihao and seized General Di's Pantheon mirror. The next moment, the scene switched to Qi Huanyu. That's the Vice Palace Lord of the Heavenly Fate Royal Court, the disciple of the Heavenly Fate Monarch, and an existence at the peak of quintessence. Tianming monarch snorted and said, "Trash." The current god continent was becoming more and more useless, let alone the fact that so many Origin Realm experts had suffered heavy casualties. They did not even have the ambition to fight the enemy head-on. If we were like this a few years ago, God Continent would have been completely destroyed. If the two kings didn't even have this much ability back then, how could the four great royal halls continue to exist? The Heavenly Fate Monarch looked down on these people. He also felt that these people had tarnished his reputation, saying that the Heavenly Fate Monarch sneered and said, "The Heavenly Fate Monarch doesn't know that he is in the picture and wants to break into the god's graveyard. In the end, I want to see how he ends up." The Heavenly Fate Monarch, a person with great ambition but little talent. The Sky Plant King also sneered and said, "This person calls himself the Heavenly Fate Monarch and has always wanted to replace you. Little does he know that he is just a puppet pushed out by those people. Those fellows have been controlling everything in the dark all these years. Back then, you and I were also controlled by them. Now that we have been in a deep sleep for many years, their experts can't enter the gods' graveyard and escape their control. Now, it seems like these people have found the Heavenly Fate Monarch to be their scavenger. They want to clean up disobedient people like us." Those people, as soon as this name was mentioned, a golden-armored expert below said in a muffled voice, "Master God, where did these people come from?" The Sky Plant King pondered for a moment and said slowly, "I don't know. Back then, we guessed that these people might be formed by the descendants of some fallen emperors. They wanted to fulfill some of the emperor's last wishes. Maybe it was like that in the beginning. When the earthly sovereign's clone was still here, he also knew about this organization but didn't encircle and annihilate them. I'm afraid they are related, but later, some changes might have happened. This organization might have had internal strife and split. Later, in our impression, this organization was very contradictory. Sometimes they would deliberately cause some chaos, and sometimes someone would step in to stop them. I don't know if they are from one side or simply two organizations. No matter what, these people are very powerful. The destruction of the Celestial Dynasty and the war between the North and the South are all related to them, including the fight for the Seed of Rebirth and the breaking of the Celestial Realm Wall. Maybe they are all controlled by these people." Then what is their purpose? To let the emperors appear in the three realms again. The Sky Plant King smiled faintly and said, Maybe so. Back then, the emperors suddenly disappeared. Some said they were dead. Some said they were just waiting for time to revive again. These people might be the backup left by the emperors. Next to him, the Heaven Fate monarch smiled faintly and said, It might also be their organization. Some people want to become emperors themselves. However, these people are indeed the remnants of the celestial realm after the destruction of the celestial realm. I have been in contact with some people in their organization, and they know a lot about the ancient secrets. Among them, there is a high chance that there are descendants or disciples of the emperors. The one I met might be a descendant of one of the 9 emperors. When we talked about the destruction of the celestial realm, this person was very emotional, and his tone was very complicated. He might be a prince in the past. The Sky Plant King smiled and said, Let's not talk about this now. In the void battlefield, the relic of the earthly sovereign is still there. After all these years of nurturing, the relic is probably strong enough to open the sealed door. At this point, the Sky Plant King smiled again and said, This relic, it was that group of people who made us leave it in the void battlefield. They have been nurturing it all this time, and I'm afraid they are waiting for this moment to collect it. The Heaven Fate monarch might be the one who took this relic. These people want to take the relic. Maybe it is time for the Emperor's path to open. But we can't let them take it away. At this point, the Sky Plant King looked at the people below and said with a smile, Get ready. When they get the relic, kill them, take it, and return it to its owner. This time, we will rebuild the Celestial Dynasty. It will no longer be the Earthly Emperor God Dynasty. The Sky Plant King said slowly, The earthly sovereign is gone, and now we live for ourselves. The 3 realms are in chaos, and someone must end it all. The name of the Celestial Dynasty is the Heavenly Court. Rumble! The void exploded. The people below were shocked, not to rebuild the Celestial Dynasty, but the Heavenly Court, the ancient Heavenly Court, the second king. How ambitious! Divine Lord! Someone wanted to speak, but the Sky Plant King raised his hand and said calmly, In the past, the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors ruled the Heavenly Court and the 3 realms together. In the end, the 3 realms collapsed, and the order was in chaos for nearly 10,000 years. Now, we are the Orthodox Celestial Dynasty. The earthly Emperor God Dynasty has continued the Heavenly Court and established its rule. We have continued the Celestial Dynasty, preserved the land, and allowed the experts in the land to have a path of retreat. We are the Orthodox Celestial Dynasty. The Life Fate monarch and the others have great ambitions but little talent, and the land is in chaos, not even as good as the human realm. How can they lead the land to regain its former glory? The Sky Plant King said indifferently, Therefore, the Heavenly Court will reappear. There will be no more 9 sovereigns, no more 4 emperors, only the second king. At this moment, the Sky Plant King stood up. He was tall, and he said in a clear voice, Generals, we have made preparations all these years. This time, when we come out of seclusion, there will be help. The Heavenly Court will be rebuilt, and the world will be divided. Under the second king, there will be the 4 emperors, the 8 heavenly kings, the 36 great sages. The Sky Plant King said in a loud voice, You have followed me for many years. The 4 emperors and the 8 heavenly kings may not be conferred, but among the 36 great sages, there will be a seat for you. The 3 realms will be unified. From now on, we will set the rules and order. The human realm cultivates the human realm, the earth realm cultivates the immortal realm, and the heavenly realm cultivates the God realm. The Sky Plant King's voice became louder. At this moment, the Heaven Fate monarch also stood up and his loud voice echoed in the hall. Rebuilding the order of heaven and earth, and stabilizing the three realms. All of you are meritorious subjects. In the future, the Emperor realm may not be impossible. In the chaotic world, there will be great opportunities. After the chaos, there will be prosperity, a great era. The Heaven Fate monarch said in a high voice, "Everything is rotten, and we will fix the world." Greetings, Heaven Master. At this moment, the experts below all kowtowed. Heaven Master, the Lord of the three realms. The two kings wanted to rebuild the heavenly court. They wanted to reset the world and divide the world. At this moment, these people were also excited. Since the two kings had said so, it meant that they were confident they could do it. Since the 4 emperors and the 8 heavenly kings had been promised by the 2 kings, there were probably experts from the outside world who would cooperate with them. In this way, there was still hope. The 3 realms cauldron. In this way, the Emperor realm's great Tao would appear in the hands of the 2 kings. When the 2 kings became emperors, they, who followed the emperor, would also reap the greatest rewards. It had been almost 10,000 years since the heavenly realm fell. Now, the 3 realms was finally going to be unified again. At this moment, these people did not think about failure. The 2 kings could survive in the cracks, leading the defeated troops to rebuild the celestial dynasty. Now, they could definitely achieve greater achievements. Most of the powerful enemies in the past were now dead, and the 2 kings were still alive. This was the capital of everyone's confidence. In the outside world, the moment the 2 kings announced that they were going to rebuild the heavenly court, the void became restless, and the great Tao appeared. Seeing this strange scene, many people were a little surprised. Soon, an expert said lightly, "An expert has touched the great Tao." What kind of thoughts can touch the great Tao? Everyone, since the 9 emperors sealed the great Tao, it has been difficult for the great Tao to appear. Is there a change now? Maybe the seal is about to break. Someone snickered and said, "This day has finally come." Back then, when the heavenly realm was broken, the 9 emperors said that we could all become emperors, but it has become an illusion. I wonder if it was the 4 celestial emperors who did it. For a group of human cultivators, they cut off our path. How hateful! As soon as these words came out, some people seemed to resonate with them. Someone sneered and said, "The 9 emperors once said that humans and immortals rule separately. Humans have the human Tao, and immortals have the immortal Tao. We walk the immortal Tao, and the great Tao is unobstructed. The human world is full of flies and dogs, and the mortal world is full of obstacles. If that's the case, why can't we walk the immortal Tao after repeated tests? Otherwise, if the human Tao is unobstructed, demons will appear. Just like now, the human Tao is full of demons. This is not the human Tao. This is the demon Tao." These people were obviously very old. On the peak, Zhang Tao sneered and stared at the void. He laughed strangely and said, "Zhang Tao of the demon Tao is here. I hope to see a cultivator of the immortal Tao exterminating demons and protecting the Tao. Zhang Tao, those who do evil will bring about their own destruction." He. Zhang Tao laughed coldly and said in a mocking tone, "Those who do evil, the human Tao and the immortal Tao, the so-called righteous path, are you demons and monsters? If that's the case, then this so-called righteous Tao, the immortal Tao, is not worth walking. I will walk my own demon Tao." The void exploded. Heaven and earth roared. Zhang Tao stood proudly on the peak and sneered, "Is there a heavenly tribulation? If there is, try and kill me. Martial artists have no heaven. If there is a heaven, it is our own heaven." Heaven and earth roared again when he said that. "Ha ha ha! Kill me!" Zhang Tao laughed maniacally. His demonic form was revealed. At this moment, The surroundings were silent. Chapter 968. Kill. Fong Ping roared and killed another rank, 9. At this moment, there were fewer and fewer people he could kill. Up ahead, Chi Huanyu's group was moving faster and faster, and there were fewer and fewer people who could teleport. At this time, the other party was already close to the depths. In the distance, everyone could even see a fallen Arch Palace. Second King Palace. The two kings had been sleeping here for thousands of years, and now they had awakened. At this moment, Chi Huanyu and the others also stopped in their tracks. Chi Huanyu's expression was solemn as he looked at the half-sunken imperial palace. At this moment, Chi Huanyu turned around and looked at Fong Ping coldly. He snorted. "Fong Ping, are you still going to fight with us here?" This was the second king's territory. Above the Arch Palace, there was an empty space. That was the entrance to the space battlefield. The great battle back then had taken place in the Imperial Palace. After the fall of the Imperial Palace, the current situation came into being. At this moment, Fong Ping did not attack again. There were still more than 200 powerhouses in the catacombs. If they were to fight head-on, humans would not be a match for them. Ignoring Chi Huanyu, Fong Ping glanced at the pitch-black entrance of the Imperial Palace and felt a sense of crisis. He did not look at it any longer and looked up at the sky again. In the sky, the origin of chaos revolved around the hole, as if it had deliberately left an entrance. Fong Ping watched for a while before turning to Chi Huanyu and smirking. "Go in and try it." Chi Huanyu snorted. He did not dare to enter rashly. The dimensional battlefield was the true necropolis of the gods. Who knew what would happen inside? The Second King Palace below was also a huge threat. It would be better if Di Hao was still alive. At least he knew that the two kings were involved. But now Di Hao was dead. Since there was no movement from the two kings, they became worried instead. A group of people gathered outside the Arch Palace, but no one dared to step into the Arch Palace, and no one dared to fly into the space battlefield. The scene turned silent. Fong Ping sneered. "You're all in such a hurry to come in and seize the supreme treasure. Come on, don't you have the guts?" Chi Huanyu looked at him and said coldly, "Fong Ping, you don't need to provoke me. We will naturally enter the realm battlefield. As for the rest of you, you better pray for yourselves." Fong Ping said playfully, "Don't worry, I won't enter. I'll wait for you right here. My fortuitous encounter is never a treasure, it's you people. When you get the treasures and come out with heavy losses, I'll kill you, and the treasures will still be mine." When he said that, some people's eyes were filled with a strange look. Fong Ping was the only one who could say something as blatant as that. This time, even Chi Huanyu was speechless. Fong Ping smiled playfully. "It's fine if I don't go in. I can make the decisions on the human side. No one will force me to go in. But do you dare not go in? If you don't go in, let's see what the true monarch will do to you." Everyone fell silent again. Fong Ping was very powerful, but no matter how powerful he was only on par with Chi Huanyu. However, Fong Ping's position on the human side was indeed very high. He could call the shots. King Wu and the others wouldn't blame him if he didn't go in. But what about the others? Everyone bore the mission of a true monarch. If they dared not enter, they would probably be in big trouble. Chi Huanyu cursed inwardly. This was also the difference between the catacombs and humans. Fong Ping had a lot of autonomy, but they did not. Fong Ping sneered again and again. "I'm waiting for you to go in and explore. Do you dare to go in? Why not go in and give it a try?" He had no intention of hiding it at all. "I was waiting for you to enter first." Chi Huanyu looked at him coldly, snorted, and said in a low voice, "Let's go in." On the catacombs side, many people looked at the black hole in the sky with some fear. Too many people had died in this place. Is there any danger inside? If there was no danger, why hadn't the second prince's men entered yet? Even a fool would know that it would be dangerous and deadly. If they were to explore the way now, there would be no lack of casualties. Everyone was afraid of death. When Chi Huanyu saw this, his expression did not look too good. After a while, he said in a deep voice, "The few of you go and take a look." He named a few people. They came from all directions. There were Heaven Plant's royal court, Heaven's Mandate protectors, and 10,000 demon royal court. They all lit up. At this moment, Chi Huanyu did not deliberately send the people from the other forces to their deaths. At this moment, it would be easy for internal strife to break out if they continued to have such thoughts. Now, they couldn't afford such internal strife. Chi Huanyu was rather fair. There were people from all sides. Although the other forces were afraid, the leaders of the other forces also spoke up at this time, indicating for those people to explore the way. Soon, 2 rank 9 catacombs humans and 2 rank 9 catacombs demons walked out of the crowd. The 4 powerhouses had the ability of rank 3 origin and above. When Chi Huanyu saw this, he waved his hand again. More than 50 powerhouses spread out, all staring at Fang Ping's side. Fang Ping did not say much and retreated with his men. If Chi Huanyu and the rest surrounded them now, it would be dangerous. Since these people wanted to explore the way, he would just watch. He still had to enter the space battlefield. Otherwise, if the Demon Emperor's relic was really taken away, who knew if he would still need to come out later? If he left the battlefield directly, then his mission this time would be considered a failure. Without it, Zhang Tao's plan might not succeed. After killing so many rank 9 powerhouses this time, as long as old Zhang's plan succeeded, humans would definitely usher in a big boom in the next few years. Although there were still many catacombs powerhouses left, the key was that they were not united. The true king had already left. Hoping for someone to unite the catacombs forces in a short time, even if there was a true king who had not left, they might not be able to do this. A true king in the catacombs was a force. An outland was a force. How could hundreds of forces be united so easily? When they were done, humans might not be afraid of them anymore. Seeing Fang Ping and the rest retreat, Chi Huanyu did not say anything. "Enter!" Someone growled. Although the 4 powerhouses were a little uneasy, they had to enter at this time. Explore the way. Initially, some rank 8 were just pawns to explore the way. Now, however, all the rank 8 were dead. They had to go. The powerhouses cautiously took to the air, not daring to reveal their auras. They restrained their auras and were extra careful. Very soon, the powerhouses approached the hollow area. At this moment, a ferocious tiger monster, unsure if it was moving too fast. As soon as it entered the hollow area, the chaos origin exploded instantly. The other party almost had no chance to fight back. A path appeared, and then it exploded. The origin path exploded. As soon as the origin path exploded, the golden body of the monster from the 10,000 demon royal court also exploded in the blink of an eye, turning into ashes in an instant. "Damn it!" someone cursed in a low voice. At this time, Chi Huanyu growled, "Don't use the origin. The closer you get to the chaos origin, the more dangerous it is to use the origin." He was also a top powerhouse, so he could see the clues. The ferocious tiger earlier was a little too nervous, and its origin leaked, triggering the chaos origin to explode. The other 2 humans and 1 monster were shocked just now. When they heard Chi Huanyu's words, they hurriedly restrained their origin, not daring to leak it anymore. As a result, the surrounding chaos origin did not attack them anymore. In the distance, Fong Ping saw the situation and laughed. Everyone pay attention. When they enter later, we will explode our origin together and trigger the chaos origin to kill them. As soon as he said that, Qi Huanyu's face darkened. He turned to look at him without saying a word. He had just thought of this. At this moment, unless they killed Fong Ping and the rest, they had to be on guard. Qi Huanyu said nothing, but he quickly transmitted his voice to the leaders. We must stop Fong Ping and the rest later. Everyone, hold them back. Some of you don't go in and wait for us outside. Otherwise, if there's no way out, we'll be easily trapped inside. They discussed for a while and quickly came to a decision. After a while, they decided on a plan. Out of the 230 people, 100 would stay to stop Fong Ping and the rest, and also to leave a way out for themselves. The rest would enter the space battlefield to look for treasures. Qi Huanyu thought for a while and added, if the battlefield can come out again, we'll hide near the entrance. Once the battle breaks out, we'll attack and kill Fong Ping and the rest. There'll be trouble sooner or later. Everyone, I'm not doing this for a personal grudge. Can't you see through it? Hall Leader Qi has a point. Everyone, if we can really hide at the entrance of the battlefield, we'll do so. When they're occupied, we'll surround and kill Fong Ping and the rest. They reached a consensus again. They could not sense any aura at the entrance of the space battlefield. Obviously, they were separated by a space and had the effect of restraining their auras. If they could hide and come out, they believed that Fong Ping would attack the rest after they left. When that time came, they would hold Fong Ping and the rest back and attack. Perhaps they could completely annihilate this group of people. At the same time, Yu Wuhua, Wuqi Li, Jiang Kuei, the leaders of the various forces, also gathered near Fong Ping. Looking at the three powerhouses exploring the way and getting closer to the battlefield, Jiang Kuei said anxiously, Fong Ping, are we just going to watch them go in? If they really go in and take away the treasures, we'll lose the initiative. It'll be very difficult for us to take it back. Previously, Jiang Kuei and Fong Ping were not on good terms. Now, however, they were much easier to talk to. Right now, among the 70 people in the field, the humans were the strongest. In addition, the people from the overseas immortal islands were also roped in by Fong Ping. They trusted Fong Ping, and Jiang Kuei could not order them around. Fong Ping frowned and said in a low voice, I know, but there are so many of them. Are we supposed to stop them now? More than 200 powerhouses, 3 against 1. I'm not afraid, and I'm confident that the humans can fight 1 against 3. But your people, can they really do it? Jiang Kuei was speechless. You still have the mood to talk about this at a time like this. Yu Wuhua thought for a while before saying, this time we're not entering unprepared. There aren't many powerhouses here. We also know that there are many powerhouses in the catacombs. Naturally, we're confident that we can enter this place. Fong Ping looked at her suddenly and said with a smile, tell me about it. It's already come to this. There's not much point in still hiding it. Yu Wuhua chuckled. Since I've said it, I naturally have no intention of hiding it. Before I came, I brought a boundary breaker nail from Immortal Inquisition Island. Boundary breaker nail? Fong Ping was a little puzzled. Yu Wuhua explained, it's a type of treasure used to break the boundary wall. Some people knew how to refine it back then. Now that we've confirmed that the space battlefield is here, the space battlefield is actually not just an entrance, but the other places are all blocked by the chaos origin. What I mean is later we can forcefully break, open a small area, and open an entrance. We'll go in from another entrance. Fong Ping gave her a deep look and said in a low voice, can this thing break the great heavenly seal array? Yu Wuhua was silent for a moment, then said, yes, but the situation at that time, Even if we break an opening, it will be sealed very quickly. That's why I didn't take this thing out at that time. Even if we break it open, I'm probably the only one who can leave." Fang Ping nodded and smiled. "Understood. It's a life-saving thing, I understand." In other words, even at the last moment of the battle, Yu Wuhua actually still had a chance to escape. At the last moment, she could break an opening and leave. Moreover, the Divine Court army might not chase after a person. They might let her go and not pursue her anymore. But if that happened, Yu Wuhua's mission this time would be considered a complete failure. Moreover, she would be the only one to escape. The others would all die. Jiang Kui heard this and sighed. It seems like no one knows how to refine a boundary breaker nail for a long time. It seems like there are still capable people in the overseas Immortal Islands. Wai Yishan didn't prepare anything this time. In fact, it's very difficult to prepare anything. Jiang Kui thought for a moment and added, "But I'm not unprepared." According to the sect leader, too many powerhouses died in the space battlefield. The chaotic aura is very serious. There's no doubt in it, but it can easily cause people's thoughts to be confused. Jiang Kui explained, then said, "So Wai Yishan prepared some mind-cleansing pills this time. When the time comes when everyone takes it, it can calm their minds and not be affected by the chaotic aura." I don't think the catacombs have such preparations. After they enter, there might be a lot of people who are possessed, chaotic, and attack each other. These people didn't experience the battle that year, so their knowledge is limited. Fang Ping gave him a deep look again. No one told him. That was true. This was a secret of all parties. There was no need to tell Fang Ping and the others everything. If not for everyone's heavy losses this time, and the catacombs were extremely powerful now, Jiang Kui might not have told them. After he finished speaking, Fang Ping looked at Yushu Zi and smiled. What did Senior Yushu prepare? Heavenly Emperor Yulong was also one of the 4 Brahmas. Heavenly Emperor Yulong was also an ancient venerable emperor. Fang Ping did not believe that the other party was unprepared. Seeing that they were looking at him, Yushu Zi chuckled. "This old man can't compare to the 2 of you. This time, I've only brought one immortal chasing talisman." Yushu Zi knew that Fang Ping did not understand. He explained, "Actually, it's a rune that can sense energy. The immortal chasing talisman can lead us to the space battlefield, the area with the densest energy. In the space battlefield, energy can't permeate. However, the earthly emperor's relic will definitely have energy. When the time comes, we won't have to search everywhere. We can find the earthly emperor's relic immediately." The powerhouses of the 3 parties had brought some useful things. Fang Ping smiled. "In that case, everyone is prepared. That's good. After all, we humans have only risen for a few years. We don't know much about these things. Right now, everyone can only join forces to have a chance to snatch food from the tiger's mouth. If we go in, it won't be a big problem. However, the key is that there are many powerhouses in the catacombs. Does everyone have a way to kill some of them in groups?" As soon as he said that, everyone smiled bitterly. If there really was a way, would they have waited until now? Fang Ping was slightly disappointed. It seemed that these ancient martial artists were not omnipotent. There were even emperor-level existences. Could they not refine something like a big killing weapon? Fang Ping asked again, "Didn't anyone bring an emperor-level avatar or something like that?" There was a moment of silence. Fang Ping's brows twitched. There really was. Yu Wuhua thought about it and explained, "There is, but this thing is used at the end to break open the graveyard of gods. If we don't have this thing and can't break open this place, I'm afraid we'll all die. Moreover, we can't use it now. The graveyard of gods is not broken. Once it's used, it'll be the chaos origin exploding. This is the last method to perish together. Fong Ping, we won't hide these, but we really can't use it now. Jiang Kuei also said, that's right, all of us have such a backup. And our goal is also the same. The catacombs side will also have this thing. The few leaders will probably have it too. But right now, no one dares to use it. Fong Ping rubbed his chin and said in surprise, that's strange. Why don't we have it? The silence was eerily quiet. After a while, Li Daong said dryly, maybe the minister and the commander-in-chief were afraid that you would use this thing carelessly. They probably guessed that others brought it, so they didn't give it to you. That's not right. Then why didn't Gu Qing and the others use it when they were dying? Fong Ping was too lazy to answer. What did he mean by using it carelessly? Am I not afraid of death? I'm also afraid of death. Okay? Unless it was absolutely necessary. How could I possibly use this thing? However, at that point, Tai Tu did not send the heavenly god fruit. If he had this thing, he would probably really use it. Everyone should just die together. Gu Qing, Yu Wuhua shook his head and said, even if he used it at that time, it wouldn't have much effect. An emperor-level avatar might not be very strong. It might be similar to Zhao Xingwu's outburst at that time. Therefore, even if he used it, it would still have the same effect, except that the range of impact was slightly larger. Moreover, Gu Qing might have had the intention to live at that time. If he used it, he would definitely die. If he didn't use it, perhaps he could still live. Coward! Fong Ping said disdainfully. While they were talking at this moment, 2 humans and 1 demon were already slowly approaching the black hole in the sky. At this time, no one had died. Qi Huanyu saw that the 3 of them had stopped moving and shouted, "Go in! If there's no danger, then come out and report." The 2 humans and 1 demon were slightly uneasy. The space battlefield was very dangerous. If they went in, they might not be able to survive. However, at this point, they could not retreat anymore. After hesitating for a while, the 2 humans and 1 demon in the sky reached an agreement. Very soon, the Heavenly Plant's royal court powerhouse took a step forward, looking hesitant. Soon, he gritted his teeth and walked directly toward the black hole. In the blink of an eye, this person disappeared. Everyone began to wait. 10 seconds, 30 seconds. There was no movement. Qi Huanyu's expression changed. "Go in again. Hall Master, go in." Qi Huanyu shouted, glaring angrily at the Destiny Royal Court powerhouse in the sky. "Even you want to disobey the order?" This person's expression changed slightly. He gritted his teeth, took a step forward, and quickly entered. This time, there was still no movement. The remaining demonic beast was getting anxious. It was the next one. At this moment, there seemed to be a voice in the black hole. Very soon, the voice of the person who entered later came out, shouting, "Kuei Shui has gone crazy. Damn it, he's attacking me. Hall Master." The voice disappeared in an instant. Qi Huanyu's expression was gloomy. Kuei Shui was the first person to enter. How could he go crazy and attack the person who entered later? This is the effect of the chaotic aura inside. Jiang Kuei said telepathically, "So many people died. It's normal to be affected. Actually, if one's strength is strong, it's fine not to use the clear mind pill. However, the person who entered earlier had average strength, 3rd level origin, so it's not strange that he was affected. However, 3rd level origin is actually not weak. The other party's spiritual consciousness is probably not strong, and his will is not strong enough, so he was affected as soon as he entered." Fong Ping nodded slightly and smiled. "If Brother Jiang doesn't mind, can you give 1 clear mind pill to each person first so that we don't get separated later and be affected by the chaotic aura?" Jiang Kuei glanced at the crowd and said, "Why is Shen only prepared 30 pills?" Fang Ping looked at everyone, thought for a while, and said, "We only need 10 pills. I believe that most of us human powerhouses can resist the effects of this chaotic aura." Hearing this, Jiang Kuei did not say anything more. He quickly sent a bottle of pills to Fang Ping. Fang Ping felt a cooling sensation when he held it in his hands. Not only that, Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. His brain was densely covered in cracks. However, after holding the clear mind pill, the cracks on his brain seemed to be slightly affected. Could this thing solve the problem of the cracks on my brain? The cracks on his brain were definitely a problem. Fang Ping was very clear about this. However, he could only sense the aura of the clear mind pill slightly. It was not too obvious, so Fang Ping did not say anything. He opened the bottle and looked inside. There were 10 pills. Fang Ping glanced at the human powerhouses and distributed the pills to some of the weaker ones. Many of them felt helpless when they received the pills. Fang Ping did not take any. Receiving the pills was a sign of weakness. Forget it, they had to resign themselves to fate. Fang Ping's current strength was indeed not something they could compare to. Kong Lingyuan, on the other hand, was slightly worried. Take one for yourself. After all, you haven't been practicing martial arts for long. Although there's no such thing as Qigong deviation in martial arts, it's still too short of time and too little experience. Fang Ping asked, curiously, "Too little experience?" "I don't think so. I've been through hundreds of wars, big and small. Not counting the time Elder Kong spent in a coma, the number of wars he's experienced might not even be as much as mine." That was heart-wrenching. Kong Lingyuan's expression darkened. "Mother ***, I'm advising you out of goodwill, but you're actually heart-wrenching." "What do you mean, not counting the time he spent in a coma?" Cough, cough. Everyone around him was trying to hold back their laughter. Jiang Kuei and the others saw this scene and felt a little indescribable. As a leader, Fang Ping was very young. However, during critical moments, he could always let some people release their stress. With a few simple words, some of the heaviness from earlier dissipated. It was not a matter of others being unable to do it. It was a matter of whether they were willing or not, or whether they were suitable to do it. At the very least, they would not joke about some powerhouses at this time. Moreover, even if they made a joke, the powerhouses might not mind. Fang Ping was still young. In Kong Lingyuan's eyes, there was no need to be angry at Fang Ping for saying these things. He was young, and he was hope. Humans also hoped that such seeds of hope could live longer and do better. Just as the few of them were chatting, the last member of the demon race entered. Soon, a voice came from the black hole again. "There's a bit of a chaotic aura. You can resist it. You can enter." As soon as the words came out, the situation became tense. Chapter 9, 69. "Everyone get ready." Fang Ping growled, his gaze solemn. "If they want to enter, they will definitely attack us." Everyone became alert, but they were unwilling to leave. Right here, they wanted to take this opportunity to kill some people. Qi Huanyu looked at Fang Ping and said coldly, "Fang Ping, I'll give you one last chance. Let's go in together. We'll settle our grudges after we see the treasure. Then, let's go together." Fang Ping seemed to be tempted. He smiled and said, "But you guys go first. We'll go later." Qi Huanyu remained silent. A moment later, he said with a faint smile, "Fine, it's up to you." After that, he shouted in a low voice, "Come, let's go in." After saying that, he soared into the air, and the 100 people behind him followed, flying toward the black hole. As for the other 100 people, they did not move, continuing to stand guard around Fang Ping and the others. Fang Ping did not hesitate. He roared, "Kill!" As he roared, he transmitted his voice. Qi Huanyu and the others might be waiting inside. Let's wait for these people to hold us back before we kill our way out. Everyone, seize the opportunity to kill some people. You Wu Hua, take this opportunity to open another passage. We'll kill them and run. All right, Yu Wu Hua answered. Everyone stopped talking and quickly charged out. Kill. On the catacombs side, there was also a powerhouse leader who roared, "Don't let them near the entrance." The experts from both sides collided in the blink of an eye. Qi Huanyu and the others also disappeared into the black hole, as if they were unable to come out. A battle between more than 100 rank 9s erupted. The sounds of battle shook the heavens. In front of the crowd, inside the second king's palace. At this moment, many people were looking at the screen. The two kings were watching as well. These martial artists of the mortal world actually dare to risk their lives, Tianming monarch said lightly, and then sneered. It's a pity that the human world is too weak. Everyone wants to sacrifice the human world. The stronger the human world is, the faster it will be destroyed. I heard that a human king has appeared in the human world. Tianji monarch chuckled and said, even Tian died in the hands of that human king. He cannot be underestimated. King Tianming smiled and said, I never underestimate anyone. Human King Zhang Tao. I also know him. To be able to lead the human realm, to resist the fake dynasty at this moment. He was indeed quite courageous. However, the general trend wasn't something that one or two people could change. In the past, the Earth Emperor God dynasty was destroyed. Even the powerful God dynasty collapsed in a day. Can't you see through Tianji? Tianji King sneered and said, You've seen through it. It was also because he saw through it that he chose to rebuild the heavenly court. These people want hope, and if we give them that hope, it will be what the people want. Give them hope of becoming emperors. Now that they had gotten their treasures back, they had this kind of confidence. Besides, as the surviving experts of the earthly Emperor God dynasty, they still had some trump cards. As the two of them spoke, someone below said, Heavenly Lord, why don't this general kill these people and retrieve the supreme treasure for the two heavenly lords? Tianji King waved his hand and said, No need. There were still some dangers in the space battlefield. Once you enter, you will also trigger these dangers. Let these people explore the path first. The traps set by that group of people back then might not be completely exposed. Yes, sir. Everyone agreed and didn't mention this matter again. Outside the palace, Fang Ping and the others kept on killing. A group of experts began to fight. Their blood energy soared to the heavens, and the chaos origin source was also restless. Fang Ping's golden body was powerful. He took the lead and charged straight into the enemy's camp, entering the crowd and killing. With him holding the front, the pressure on the others was greatly reduced, and they followed suit. Meanwhile, the catacombs seemed to be calculating. They did not stop these people from charging into the camp, but spread out in all directions with the intention of luring them into a trap. Seeing this, Fang Ping sneered. If not for Yu Wu Hua's breakthrough nail, he would not dare to be surrounded, but with it, it did not matter. Of course, Fang Ping also kept a close eye on Yu Wu Hua. This woman better not drop the ball at this time. If she dropped the ball, then they would be in big trouble. Once Qi Huanyu and the others charged out, they would be surrounded, and then they would be in danger. Fang Ping dared not trust her completely. At this moment, he was still a little cautious and did not go all out. He was prepared to kill the enemy and lead the people to break out of the encirclement if Yu Wu Hua betrayed him. The compass in his arms was also firmly under his control. It was difficult to teleport the enemy, but as long as they did not resist, they could still be teleported. This was also the reason why he dared to charge into the catacombs. Kill! At this moment, Kong Lingyuan, Li Daong, and the others were fighting with all their might, with no intention of holding back at all. Fang Ping said that there were still imperishable substances. As long as they could not die, would the catacombs dare to not hold back at all? Now that they had exhausted everything, let's see what they could do next. With Fang Ping around, that was a moving supply station. Rumble! People were dying constantly. The killing was getting more and more brutal. On Fang Ping's side, people were dying too, but at this stage, Fang Ping did not care anymore. This time, if he did not kill until these people were terrified, his name would not be Fang Ping. Daring to kill his people, did these fellows not know how petty he was? With Fang Ping and a few other top-notch powerhouses attacking, in the absence of Qi Huanyu, 70 people against 100 people, the catacomb side was at a disadvantage. After fighting for a while, the catacomb side had also surrounded Fang Ping, and the others after paying a price. At this time, there were less than 80 remaining catacombs powerhouses. On Fang Ping's side, only 3 people had died. In order to surround Fang Ping and the others, these people were also willing to pay any price. At this moment, the powerhouse leader in charge of staying behind roared, "Temple Master!" This roar made the black hole in the sky tremble. Fang Ping sneered, quickly looking at Yu Wuhua. At this moment, a nail had already appeared in Yu Wuhua's hand. Fang Ping, on the other hand, quickly transmitted his voice. "Li Wuqi, release the Emperor-level avatar later." Water Buffalo's eyes widened. "Me? Why should it be me?" Fang Ping's gaze was sharp. "Are you going to let it go or not? You're so easy to bully. If you don't let it go, I'll let Song Mao chop your elder ancestors' flesh later." Li Wuqi cursed in his heart, but he did not reply. At this moment, there was a fluctuation in the black hole. Qi Huanyu's figure had already appeared. "Open!" Yu Wuhua let out a low roar, and the realm-piercing nails suddenly struck another void. In the void, a black passageway was blasted out in an instant. At this moment, Fang Ping shouted, "Retreat!" With a loud roar, Fang Ping swept everyone and rushed directly into the passageway above their heads. At this moment, Qi Huanyu also rushed out with dozens of people. Seeing that Fang Ping and the others had blasted out a passageway, Qi Huanyu was stunned for a moment. Then he roared, "Stop them! Stop my ass!" Fang Ping cursed. At this moment, Li Wuqi gritted his teeth, and a water crystal in the shape of a large water buffalo appeared in front of him. Seeing this, Qi Huanyu's expression changed abruptly, and he roared, "Everyone retreat!" Having said that, without looking back, he quickly went into the black hole. Not only him, but the others also followed him and flew into the black hole. At this moment, the eruption of some people's origin caught the attention of the Chaos Origin, and their DAOs collapsed almost instantly. Below, the people who were intercepting Fang Ping and the others saw this scene, and their expressions changed. No one stopped them anymore. Run for your lives. Some people retracted their origin aura and ran toward the black hole, while others simply ran in all directions. In the blink of an eye, everyone scattered. Rumble! At this moment, the Chaos Origin erupted in an instant. In the void, a large water buffalo appeared. Looking around, it said in a daze, "It's over? Is this place going to be destroyed?" The reason why the large water buffalo left the avatar behind was to destroy this place at the last moment. Everyone was well aware of this, and they were prepared to attack together at the last moment. However, at this moment, Shui Li was dumbfounded. Where were the others? Why was there only one avatar? My avatar can't destroy this damn place, can it? Damn little bastard. Shui Li suddenly cursed. What was Li Wuqi doing? Releasing my avatar first. Wasn't that just sending me to my death? Did the avatar not cost money? Did he really think his spiritual consciousness was limitless? I asked you to use it last, not now. Shui Li cursed, but in the next moment, he could not curse anymore. Large amounts of chaos origin gathered in all directions. Rumble! In the blink of an eye, the avatar staggered from the explosion, and it almost cracked. Shui Li cursed again. What the hell? Where are the others? I attacked first. How am I going to blow up this damn place in the end? Everyone had a common understanding. Now that I attacked, could other people's avatars break this place? Did they have to take the initiative to break it from the outside in the end? Shui Li was cursing. In the second reigning palace, Tianji and Tianming frowned too. Without a word, they teleported the Emperor Palace away from this place. Shui Li, the raging bull, seemed to have noticed the second reigning palace. At this moment, this fellow seemed to have the intention to break into the second reigning palace. You two are really alive. Damn it. How dare you embezzle my share back then? I'll kill you. In the second reigning palace, both reigning kings frowned. Tianji king humphed coldly. Shui Li, you haven't entered God Dynasty. What share do you have? This bull was unreasonable. Back then, both reigning kings held the position of Demon Palace Lord in God Dynasty. They were in charge of some powerhouses' mounts, the arrangement, suppression, and enfeefment of the demons within the territory. The Demon Palace was also very important. Fang Ping had underestimated them by saying that they were the zoo director. The demons of the three realms were all under their rule, including some emperor-level demons. Shui Li was already emperor-level back then, and was not under the jurisdiction of the Demon Palace. Go to hell. Shui Li's body had been blown up by the chaos origin, but he still roared. I am the strongest demon king in the three realms. The earthly sovereign's projection is still here, and he has to give me some face. Why isn't there a share? You two old farts, how dare you embezzle my things? The two reigning kings could not be bothered to say more. They quickly moved the second reigning palace away from this guy. This guy had already caused the origin to go berserk. They could not make a move now, or it would cause an even bigger origin to go berserk. At that time, this place would soon explode after sensing their powerful origin. Shui Li, this bull, is still alive inside the second reigning palace, Tianji King said coldly. I remember that Tengu and Nan Mao often went to look for him. Unfortunately, Tengu died early, or else he would have been eaten. I thought Nan Mao would eat him, but he didn't do anything. Tianming King watched Shui Li's clone being blown up and laughed. Nan Mao rarely takes the initiative to attack. Now that Tengu is dead, I'm afraid Nan Mao is too lazy to look for him. Nan Mao, Tianji King thought for a while, and said, when the earthly sovereign was still alive, he said that Nan Mao and Tengu were not under the jurisdiction of the Demon Palace. Tianming, what's so special about Nan Mao and Tengu? Tianming King shook his head slightly. Although he had heard about it, he did not know why. Both of them had mentioned it many times in the past. It was meaningless to bring it up now. Is Nan Mao born from Tao? Tianji King asked again. Tianming King thought for a while and said, this is just a rumor. Nan Mao might not be. When Nan Mao appeared, the heavenly realm had already appeared. It might have been abandoned. Earthly Sovereign once said so. Earthly Sovereign should know the origin of Nan Mao and Tengu. Earthly Sovereign's projection established the divine dynasty. At first, no one knew that it was a projection, and thought that Earthly Sovereign was still alive. Therefore, these two could be considered Earthly Sovereign's direct descendants. Back then, they often met Earthly Sovereign. When Nan Mao was active in the three realms, they also asked Earthly Sovereign about it. But Tengu was still alive, and earthly sovereign was a little afraid of it. So he did not say much. The projection was powerful, very powerful, but he was probably no match for Tengu. Back then, after the four emperors disappeared, Tengu was known as the #1 expert below the emperor realm. As for the one in the Wangu, no one knew who was stronger without fighting. Later, Tengu died in battle, and the earthly emperor divine dynasty was besieged by various emperors, so they naturally had no time to care about Nanmao. At the mention of Nanmao, the two emperor-level experts were a little emotional. This cat really lived for a long time. Perhaps it was the oldest existence in the 3 realms. Unfortunately, this cat had been living a muddle-headed life. It might not even know its own identity or how it was born, just as the two were thinking about Nanmao. In the depths of the sea of bitterness, panting, Nanmao stuck out his tongue. At this moment, when he saw the 2 emperor-level experts emerging in the world of cats, he muttered, "Why are you thinking about me again? Why do you care about my identity? So troublesome." Nanmao muttered, looked ahead, and muttered, "The fake human emperor asked me to make a fake celestial realm fragment. How troublesome. Use the real celestial realm fragment. It's not like I don't know where it is." In front, the void collapsed. Around them, countless huge cracks like spider webs cut the whole world apart. The sea of bitterness was boundless. The collapsed space was not large, but it was also an entrance. If they did not explore the sea of bitterness, they might not be able to find it. Looking at the divided world, Nanmao suddenly felt a little sad and muttered, "It's broken. It seems that many people have died here. I don't remember whose territory this is. The celestial realm was ruled by the 9 emperors and 4 emperors. The 4 emperors did not care about anything, and the 9 emperors divided the celestial realm. The old cat could not remember which emperor realm expert's Taoist right this fragment belonged to. Forget it. It was fine as long as it was a real celestial realm fragment. Nanmao looked at the crack, then scratched his head with his claws, and said with some distress, "It's so far. How can I reach there? The fake human emperor is so troublesome. It's so far away. Yet he asked me to lure people here, and he even asked me to connect to the space battlefield. Really troublesome. What an annoying cat." Nanmao muttered nonstop. "The fake human emperor does not care about human affairs. He made me fly so far. I'm dying of exhaustion." Nanmao felt that he had lost at least a few 100 kilograms this time. "Forget it. I'll eat some cat food first." Nanmao was too lazy to think anymore. He took out a large number of snacks and began to eat wildly. As he ate, he circled around the crack. The cat's head was a little sticky. "So tired, I want to sleep. Should I take a nap first?" Just as the cat was thinking, the next moment, he suddenly let out a scream. In the cat's world, Zhang Tao's figure appeared at this moment. "Nanmao, don't mess things up. Too many people have died. Earth is about to be destroyed." As he spoke, a large number of humans died, and there were heavy casualties. A cat squatted on the ruins and looked at it, tears streaming down its face. Nanmao was really about to cry. "The fake human emperor is so vicious. How did you know that I want to sleep? Damn bastard. I regret it." The fake human emperor had taken many paths, and there were some places that overlapped with me. Thinking about it, I could sense it very clearly. It's too sad. Why did I tell him that I'm a cat? That's not right. Did I tell him? Which bastard leaked this cat's existence? Song Mao's sorrow was unbearable. "I'm sad. Was it me who said that I'm a cat?" If he didn't know my name, even if the fake human emperor wanted me, I might not be able to sense it so clearly. This is too annoying. The cat was extremely sad and indignant. He turned his sadness into appetite and continued to eat wildly. After eating for a while and circling around the crack, He finally had some clues. This fragment seems to be connected to the space battlefield. I can open an opening and use this fragment as a passage. Then I can block the door of the fragment, right? The cat nodded its big head. I'm smart. I've thought of a way. But the aura spread so far. Hundreds of thousands of miles. How can it spread? The divine peeking mirror is broken. It can't spread out. So annoying. The cat was so angry that its tail exploded. It really wanted to stab the fake human emperor to death. Forget it. I think I have something else that I can try. The cat muttered for a while and began to set it up with great effort. It muttered, I'll just stab all of you to death. They think of me every day, but I'm the only one who thinks of me. How annoying. It's better to sleep. If I sleep, they won't remember me and won't miss me anymore. Sometimes the cat was also very helpless. If it didn't sleep, everyone would stare at it and think of it often. It was very annoying. If it fell asleep, its presence would be too low, and not many people would think of it. The cat began to set it up with its furry butt. From time to time, it would look at the illusory continent in the crack. It thought of something and said sadly, it seems to be someone's fish pond. No, it's the bathing pond. Big Dog, that perverted dog, I think he used to peep at people bathing. Meow, I didn't peep. No, I was forced to peep by Big Dog. Meow, women are so ugly. The cat continued to mutter. So ugly. Not as fun as little chubby face. I don't like it. Big Dog is so perverted. However, the cat seemed to think of something again and muttered, Big Dog is not only perverted, but also shameless. Really, he stole their clothes. I was almost beaten up because of him. It's not a divine artifact's clothes, and Big Dog stole them. How shameless. The cat muttered endlessly. At this moment, it thought of many things in the past. The impression of Big Dog in its memory also became clearer. It didn't remember much before, but now it remembered more and more. When the cat remembered these, it was a little sad. I still need to sleep. It's not good to remember too much. Otherwise, the liar will ask me again. Am I supposed to tell him that I've peeped at many people bathing? I won't tell him. I didn't peep. It's normal for a cat to peep at people bathing. As the cat spoke, it meowed again. The more I think about it, the more pitiful I feel. Which cat would do these things? Really, I just want to eat and sleep, sleep and eat. The cat was extremely sad. In the next moment, Fong Ping's figure appeared in its mind. It said quickly, Liar, liar, you owe me 100,000 years of cat food. The fake emperor is too evil. You have to help him pay me back. Otherwise, I'll stab little chubby face to death and piss you off. In the darkness, Fong Ping's body staggered. Then he shook his head and swore. The cat must be crazy. Why did it send him a voice transmission out of the blue? Also, what was up with this cat? He felt that something was wrong. Could this cat send a voice transmission to everyone, or only him? Why did it not send a voice transmission to old Zhang and the rest? Could it be because I entered its cat world? As for what the cat said about stabbing Fang Yuan to death, Fong Ping was speechless. This cat was just saying it. He did not believe it. Of course, if it really did it. Fong Ping shook his head. This cat, was it pretending to be stupid? Was this fellow's fur-brushing general specialized in taking hostages? If that was the case, Warlord might have been a hostage when he brushed its fur back then. Unquestionable Sword should have a good relationship with Warlord. Fong Ping muttered in his heart. Maybe it was good. No, it was definitely good. At this moment, Fong Ping did not know if Warlord would still be like now, united with humans and able to attack Unquestionable Sword if he really recovered his memory. Don't think so much. Fong Ping shook his head, not thinking about it anymore. If that fellow, the next time he sent a voice transmission to him, He would learn from old Zhang. He would think of some painful scenes and let the cat have a headache. Fang Ping did not care about this anymore. He asked quickly, "Is everyone here?" "Two are missing." Jiang Yao let out a muffled groan, her breathing a little chaotic. At this moment, there were only 65 people present. In the previous battle, they had killed many people from the catacombs. Some of them had fallen too. Fang Ping sneered. "We're missing 2 people, but at least dozens of people from the catacombs have died." Having said that, Fang Ping shouted, "Everyone stay alert. This damn place is very depressing." At this moment, they were in total darkness. Even Fang Ping felt that his vision was slightly blocked. The space battlefield here was slightly different from other places. At the same time when Fang Ping and the others entered the space battlefield, in the outside world, a sigh was heard again. Taoist Feng Yun sighed. "There are so many casualties. What a pity." In the catacombs, 172 people were alive. In the other parties, 65 people were alive. 237 powerhouses were alive. Such a death rate was once again beyond everyone's expectations. Fang Ping's side had killed more than 50 powerhouses from the catacombs at the cost of 5 people. Taoist Feng Yun wanted to say a few words of disdain. How did the divine land do it? They had been tricked again and again. Were the powerhouses that Life King and the others had nurtured idiots? In the distance, Life King did not say a word. If not for the 300 people who had entered, their people would not have been enough to kill. Qi Huanyu was so useless that it made him feel despair. How did you manage to kill so many of your people, but not many of your enemies? Was this group of people just here to eat rice? In the void on the other side, a large water buffalo did not make a sound. "This emperor will not tell you. It seemed to have something to do with me. Its clones had been used. Obviously, those people's sudden deaths were probably caused by its clone's outburst." Chapter 970. "Qing Tong, you deserve to die." "Moon Spirit, why? Why did you betray us? I can't accept this. The vast sky is lawless." In the dark space, hysterical roars reverberated in everyone's mind. Fang Ping and the rest's expressions changed slightly. The resentment, unwillingness, and resentment made them feel uneasy. They could not wait to vent it out. "Eat the tranquil pill quickly." Jiang Yao growled. Those who received the tranquil pill hurriedly swallowed it. After eating the pill, some of the powerhouses whose eyes were bloodshot finally regained their clarity. At that moment, many people's eyes were bloodshot. They were incomparably violent and had the urge to kill. Fang Ping took a deep breath and suppressed the restlessness in his heart. He looked around. It was still endless darkness. This place has a powerhouse's remnant consciousness left behind. Fang Ping knew what Jiang Kuei's so-called chaotic consciousness was. These powerhouses died unwillingly and resentfully. It was similar to the Emperor's tomb. Some of the top-notch powerhouses' mentality still remained. Kacha, Fang Ping seemed to have stepped on something. He looked down and frowned slightly. The corpses have decayed. Among them, there were at least true god powerhouses who participated in the war. Fang Ping did not expect the corpses to have decayed. Such powerhouses' corpses would not have decayed so quickly even after thousands of years. Especially in the space battlefield. It was similar to a storage ring. Logically, the corpses should not have changed much even after thousands of years. Fang Ping squatted down and picked up a piece of dull white bone. After a while, he said, "The bones of a true god powerhouse have actually lost their strength and have completely decayed." Everyone looked around at this moment. After getting used to the welcome, everyone's field of vision was broadened. At this moment, everyone also saw the situation in the field. On the dark ground, there were piles of corpses. The clothes and armor of the past had completely faded away. The white bones were white, and these white bones had already begun to decay, no longer possessing the power of the past. Jade Hollow squatted down and suddenly picked up a black token from beside one of the white bones. He said with some sadness, "Masters Junior Jade Clear. I didn't expect Master's corpse to be here." Fong Ping was slightly surprised. He tilted his head and asked, "Didn't Grandmaster not participate in the war that year?" The battle in the King battlefield was a battle between the domain and the two kings. Jade Hollowchild came from the realm beyond Avalon. "Why would you long heaven send an expert to participate in the battle?" Jade Hollowchild sighed and said, "In the past, some experts and venerable sovereigns from the blessed and heavenly lands invited some of their friends to participate in the war. Uncle Master Yuching had been on good terms with Luofu Mountain since ancient times. In that battle, Senior Uncle Yuching was invited to assist, but in the end, he was unable to return to Yulong Heaven." Jiang Kuei said, "That's right. Back then, there were some who came to help, but not many. I didn't enter this place in the past, but many experts of my Weiyu Mountain died here." Fong Ping did not say much. Instead, he asked curiously, "The ones with the most grievances here are Qing Tong and Moon Spirit. Moon Spirit is, watch your words." Jiang Kuei whispered, "That is the name of the one in the king's room." Fong Ping did not mind. He smiled and said, "Isn't that what they're called? What's wrong with that? So it was a woman? I didn't expect that." Fong Ping was a little surprised. He did not expect the master of Mount Wangu to be a woman. "Is this venerable sovereign moon's spirit very strong?" Minister Zhang said that the master of the king's room is very strong, but I don't think I've heard anyone mention her. "Brother Jiang, have you seen her?" Jiang Kuei said nothing. At this time, Yu Wuhua chuckled and said, "Minister Fong, it's better not to ask too much about this. I know a little, but although some things are in the past, I can't say much. After all, she's still alive." "That's serious?" Fong Ping chuckled. "Is she more frightening than the 9 emperors?" "That's not it," Yu Wuhua explained. "After all, the 9 emperors have fallen, and the 4 emperors have also fallen. It's okay to mention some. The one in the king's room is still alive. Also, try not to mention the name of a female venerable sovereign. Back then, Wang Wu's status was honorable. If you call her by her name, it's easy to offend people. Honorable imperial concubine?" Fong Ping's interest was piqued, and he started gossiping. Everyone was speechless. Why were you in the mood to gossip at a time like this? At this moment, Jiang Kuei had no choice but to interrupt. "Not the imperial concubine. Back then, not many of the 9 emperors had imperial concubines. They all fell along with the fall of the heavenly realm. The one in the king's room was a prince's cultivation partner." Jiang Kuei was afraid that he would keep mentioning it, so he said again, "Back then, that prince was powerful and had a noble status. He was also very famous in the 3 realms. Not only did he have a father who was a martial emperor, but his elder brother, another prince, was also one of the 8 heavenly kings." 8 heavenly kings? Fong Ping was surprised again. He asked with some interest, "There were 8 heavenly kings back then?" "Yes." Jiang Kuei seemed to know what he wanted to ask. After thinking for a while, he said, "The current heavenly king garrison might be one of the 8 heavenly kings. However, the 8 heavenly kings back then were extremely mysterious, even more mysterious than the martial emperors. They rarely appeared in front of the public. Rumor has it that the 8 heavenly kings have their own missions and rarely appear in the heavenly realm. That's why even the sect leader doesn't know much about the 8 heavenly kings. He only knows that the 8 heavenly kings are extremely powerful. We can't be sure whether the heavenly king Garrison is one of the 8 heavenly kings, but the possibility is not small. As for which heavenly king, I don't know. Yu Wuhua also laughed. The heavenly king Garrison should be one of the 8 heavenly kings, but it's a little strange. Logically speaking, if the heavenly king Garrison is really one of the heavenly kings, there's a problem with his current honorific title. Yu Wuhua pondered and said, his honorific title is Heavenly King Garrison. Heavenly King Garrison. There are many explanations. If it's a town as a title, it's not too much. But if it's Heavenly King Garrison or Heavenly King Garrison as an honorific title, there are actually some problems. Yu Wuhua shook his head slightly. The name Heavenly King Garrison could have many meanings. It was also very difficult to determine anything from the honorific title. Fang Ping, however, felt that he had gained a lot. He had finally figured out a little about the Heavenly King Garrison, one of the 8 heavenly kings, 9 martial emperors. For emperors, 8 heavenly kings in ancient times, he had already touched a little of the heavenly realm's structure. Without asking any more questions, Fang Ping dropped the skeleton in his hand and said, I didn't see Qi Huanyu and the others. The place we entered was less than 100 meters away, but there were no traces of them. This means that the passageway we opened might not be with them. As he said that, Fang Ping looked at Jiang Yao and asked, what's the structure of the space battlefield like? It's a cage. Jiang Kuei explained, the core battle site back then should be where the treasure is. The place we're at now should be the periphery. Jade Hollow Child should be able to use the celestial chasing talisman to track to the place with the most energy. As he said that, Jiang Kuei added, everyone be careful. The space battlefield is very big. Although it's a whole area that covers all 3 realms, it's actually divided into countless small cages. We're only in one of the areas. Try not to wander around and get lost in it. In the space battlefield, some areas only have one door. We can't get out from other places. Once you're trapped, you can't break out of the battlefield, and you're trapped inside. There's no energy here. After a long time, we'll also fall into a period of desolation or even die here. Fang Ping asked, I heard that this battlefield is a powerhouse's origin space. Is that true? Jiang Kuei and the rest looked at each other. These people might not have experienced that period, but they were active during the earthly Emperor God dynasty era, so they knew some things. At this moment, Li Wuji's mentality fluctuated. There's such a rumor, but it's hard to say. The space battlefield is too big. If this is a powerhouse's origin space, we suspect that it's not just one person's origin space. Didn't Jiang Kuei say this before? This place is divided into many small spaces. That's why we guessed that it might be a group of people's origin space. After these people died, the origin space connected and formed the current space battlefield. And these people are probably the people from the heavenly realm. A group of people. Fang Ping nodded slightly. At this moment, Jade Hollow Child kept a set of white bones and said slowly, it shouldn't be one person's. The space battlefield has strong and weak areas. The weak areas can be broken by 3 to 5 stages of origin. This might be the battlefield created by the deaths of some weak people. As for the strong areas, even Emperor level can't break them. This might be the battlefield left behind by the powerhouses back then. Back then, many Emperor levels participated in the battle, but they couldn't break it. It's very likely that it was left behind by the powerhouses. That's why once you're trapped here, it's very difficult to break the space and leave unless you find an exit. Having said that, a jade-colored talisman appeared in Jade Hollow Child's hand. He said, This is the Immortal Chasing Talisman. Once it's opened, it will automatically find a place with abundant energy. Everyone, just follow the Immortal Chasing Talisman. Be careful along the way. Click. The Immortal Chasing Talisman broke open. Fang Ping sensed something unusual. This thing seemed to be related to Powerhouse's mentality. It was very weak, but it might have a special effect of sensing energy. The Immortal Chasing Talisman that broke open quickly floated in the air, then flew rapidly in a direction. Everyone hurried to catch up. There were 65 powerhouses left here. Since they could survive until now, there were not many weaklings. The resentful voices around them were still ringing, but everyone turned a deaf ear to them. Some of the weaker ones took the tranquil pill and were not affected too much. At the same time, in another place, a battle was erupting. Qi Huanyu killed a rioting rank 9 with a spear. His gaze was dark. He had no choice but to kill his own people. These people were disturbed and attacked their own people in a frenzy. They were extremely crazy and could not be suppressed at all. The longer it took, the more they were affected. In a short period of time, 7 or 8 powerhouses could not suppress themselves and attacked the people around them. At this time, everyone was frightened and uneasy. They did not even dare to trust their teammates. Qi Huanyu took a deep breath and shouted, "Everyone, if anyone feels that they can't suppress themselves anymore, tell me, and I will control you. If you hide anything and attack others, you won't be able to stop then." In a short period of time, another 5 out of 175 powerhouses had fallen. 3 of them died in the hands of Qi Huanyu and the others, and 2 were killed by those crazy fellows. 170 rank 9s. These were all the remaining powerhouses in the catacombs. There were not so many of them here. During the chaotic situation, close to 20 people had run away outside and did not enter this place. At this moment, there were only about 150 catacombs powerhouses in the space battlefield. Qi Huanyu's expression did not look too good. The losses were too great. Moreover, this place was constantly being disturbed by those chaotic consciousnesses. He did not know how many people would survive until the end this time. Without further ado, a jade card appeared in Qi Huanyu's hand. It was similar to the Immortal Chasing Talisman. Soon, the jade card flew forward. Follow it. Don't get separated. Also, pay attention to reducing energy consumption. Qi Huanyu shouted, "This battlefield can't be broken from other places. It's difficult to absorb energy from the outside world. We can only rely on our own energy reserves and the energy liquid we brought to recover. Since Fang Ping and the others have also entered this place, we will definitely encounter them again. Everyone without energy, we will be lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Remember, don't use energy recklessly." Everyone responded one after another. These powerhouses were not stupid. Moreover, everyone had entered this time under the true king's orders and had brought a lot of recovery supplies. However, after a few battles, everyone had used up a lot of energy. Some of them did not have storage rings, so some of the supplies they brought had been used up. The 150 powerhouses did not say much in this place. One by one, they followed the powerhouses in front of them in silence. Around them, some powerhouses looked around vigilantly. In this place, the range of mentality exploration was not large. No one knew if there were other dangers in the space battlefield. Currently, both parties were about 100 li apart. They began to rush toward the center. In the direction of the space battlefield, the central area, it was not completely dark. Some faint light spilled out, illuminating the surrounding few thousand meters. The ground of this place was blood red. Some white bones were exposed on the blood-red ground. Dead silence, as if it had been dead for thousands of years. White bones, and the color of blood covered the entire ground. In the center of the ground, where the source of the light source was, there seemed to be an altar set up. On the altar, a crystal bead spilled out a faint glow. This was the source of the light in this place. The altar covered a large area. Just as Fong Ping and the others entered the place that had been dead silent for countless years, there was a slight movement. Around the altar, there were originally 4 statues in 4 directions. The statues were all sitting cross-legged on the ground, as if they had been standing there for countless years. Their exterior was wrapped in a thick layer of gray matter. The moment Fong Ping and the others entered, the 4 statues suddenly emitted a faint glow. Someone has entered. How young? Is it the oracle? The 4 statues seemed to have come to life at this moment, emitting a faint voice. The statues did not move. They still maintained their cross-legged posture. The voice also dissipated in the blink of an eye. Very soon, it returned to dead silence again, as if the one who spoke previously was not them. The outside world. When the names on the stone monument no longer decreased, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that both sides did not encounter anymore and did not attack again. Until now, they had not even seen the earthly emperor's relics, but so many people had died. Everyone could not bear it anymore. Inside, it was quiet, but outside, at this moment, a storm was surging. The void was constantly shaking. More and more powerhouses rushed over. Some powerhouses were rushing to this place continuously, including Heavenly Emperor Chongrong, who was blocked at the door previously. At this moment, his figure also flashed away, vanishing into the void. Dragon transformation left, bringing his daughter and disciples back to dragon transformation heaven. Heavenly Emperor Chongrong naturally would not miss this opportunity. At this moment, he also rushed over. Not all of the 22 heavens beyond heavens had emperor-level powerhouses surviving, but at this moment, many heavens beyond heavens emperors came, more than 10. From the overseas immortal islands, more than 10 thearchs had also rushed over. At this time, a few emperor-level experts and some true gods had also arrived from the 8 major domains. At this moment, there were experts in all directions. On the peak, the faces of Zhang Tao and the others also turned solemn. There were more and more experts. Emperor rank. Perhaps there were already more than 30 of them here. As for the desperate Abyss realm, there were hundreds of them. Meanwhile, Zhang Tao suddenly smiled and said, "I'm a little curious. How many hopeless realms are there in the 3 realms? I'm afraid not all of them are listed on the wind cloud list, right?" From afar, Taoist Fengyan laughed. 8 grotto heavens, 22 sky beyond heavens, 33 overseas immortal islands, god continents, 4 great royal courts, and the experts of the human world. There should be more than 300 true gods. So little? Zhang Tao chuckled. The catacombs already have close to 200 of them. We humans also have more than 50 of them. So the other parties only have more than 50 of them? In that case, the other forces won't be able to do it. Taoist Fengyan smiled. After all, we suffered heavy losses in the battles back then. Thousands of true gods have fallen. Zhang Tao interrupted. There are quite a number of demons in the Forbidden Ocean. There shouldn't be so many true gods, right? According to what Taoist Fengyan said, the other forces probably only had 1 or 2 true god powerhouses. The Land of Realms was still fine, but the overseas immortal islands and sky beyond heavens only had so few true gods. There were more than 60 forces, but only a few dozen true gods. Taoist Fengyan laughed again. The sea of bitterness is boundless. There might be some that are overlooked, How can I know everything? Then your wind cloud list won't do. Zhang Tao laughed. How can it work if the wind cloud list of the 3 realms doesn't even have a complete list of people? I think you should just remove your wind cloud list. Why isn't the one from Mount Wangu on the list? Also, don't you have any forces backing you? Oh, right. What about the evil sects? Why isn't the Grand Pope on the list? Or are they hidden among the people on the list? You don't even know how many powerhouses there are in the 3 realms, and you still want to list it? You're really shameless. Taoist Fengyan chuckled. When the big change comes, the powerhouses will naturally come out. It won't be too late to add to the list then. I'm not in a hurry. I just want to know something, Zhang Tao said slowly. Has the heavenly realm really disappeared? Taoist Fengyan said nothing. You people have been hiding without a trace. Where are you hiding? Zhang Tao said to himself, there are territories in heaven beyond heaven, the land of boundaries, and everyone else. Are you hiding in the Forbidden Ocean? But the overseas immortal islands and the demon race have been active for so many years. There will be traces, unless you're hiding in a place that they can't find, like in a fragment of the heavenly realm. Zhang Tao chuckled. I think the heavenly realm's collapse isn't without a trace. Some places still exist. You guys are hiding in the fragment of the heavenly realm. Maybe you guys have really established a new world. Zhang Tao continued. Are there the remains of an emperor? The remains of an extreme Tao heavenly emperor? Are there any ancient inheritances, divine weapons? Was there anything about the great way of the emperor? Can it help people break through? He asked many questions in a row. At this moment, Heavenly King Subduing's voice came from the void. Not necessarily. The heavenly realm was huge back then, bigger than the divine continent where the earthly emperor god dynasty was. It's normal for some fragments to fall. It's possible that the 9 palaces and even the heavenly court weren't destroyed and fell into a nameless space. Zhang Tao smiled. Is the seed of rebirth necessary to become an emperor? If the emperor falls and the great Tao remains, can we directly become emperors by taking the emperor Tao? I've always been curious. Why didn't anyone think of going to the ruins of the heavenly realm? At this moment, someone in the void said, who said they didn't? Back then, the heavenly emperor was still alive. He led a group of people to search for the ruins of the heavenly realm. In the end, the heavenly emperor fell, and the others suffered heavy casualties. In the end, they found nothing. That's enough to make you give up. Zhang Tao smiled. Then I'll doubt your determination to become emperors. If it were me, I would definitely continue searching all these years. Since the heavenly emperor has fallen, it means that there might really be a way to become an emperor. Although it's dangerous, riches come from danger. Don't you understand that? Humph, what do you know? Someone said indifferently, the ruins of the heavenly realm are in the sea of bitterness. The sea of bitterness is boundless. If there's a clear direction, we will naturally look for it. But the powerhouses of the 33 immortal islands have searched for countless years and haven't found it. How can we search aimlessly? As soon as this was said, a powerhouse of the overseas immortal islands added, we have searched, but the sea of bitterness is dangerous. The spiritual energy can't be restored. Often, after searching for some areas, we can't support it anymore and have to return. There are also many spatial cracks in the sky above the sea of bitterness. Some are even multi-heavenly cracks. It's extremely dangerous. Even emperors are in danger of dying. These people still said something. It wasn't that they didn't want to search, but that they really couldn't find it. Searching aimlessly was more likely to be courting death. Rather than that, it was better to find the seed of rebirth. This was clearer. Emperor, Song knows, someone said indifferently, in the past, unquestionable Jian went to the ruins of the heavenly realm, Emperor Tsong's divine weapon was probably obtained there. Unfortunately, Emperor Tsong doesn't want to say much and often sleeps. We can't force Emperor Tsong because of our past relationship. Zhang Tao smiled. Past relationship? What relationship? Does Ash Cat have a relationship? Everyone was silent. Heavenly King Zhen smiled. It's just fear. As long as Heavenly Hound isn't dead, who dares to provoke Ash Cat? After Heavenly Hound died, Ash Cat's hibernation couldn't be found. When it reappeared, the battle of the earthly Emperor God dynasty had ended. The heavens beyond heavens and the overseas immortal islands had suffered heavy losses. The war between the North and the South had already become obvious. They had to seal off the forbidden areas, with some people secretly protecting them. Who would deal with Ash Cat if they couldn't reach an agreement? After a few more years, unquestionable Jian will become stronger. When the battle of the supreme battlefield breaks out, all the powerhouses will be killed and those who survived will be seriously injured. At this time, who would dare to provoke Ash Cat? Heavenly King Zhen said, and smiled. Zhang Tao, Ash Cat will have to rely on your protection now. This cat is very eye-catching. If you don't protect him, someone will secretly attack him. Zhang Tao smiled. I'll try my best. After all, Ash Cat has contributed to mankind. Senior, please do your best. Heavenly King, Zhen smiled. Of course. After the conversation between the two, the surroundings were silent. No one said a word. Ash Cat, it would be strange if no one had designs on Ash Cat at this time. Some people didn't know that Ash Cat had so many artifacts, and they didn't know that it knew the location of the heavenly realm. Now, some things couldn't be hidden anymore. Fate King glanced at Zhang Tao and frowned slightly. What was King Wu's purpose in mentioning Ash Cat at this time? Now that he mentioned it in public, was it a deterrent, or did he have another purpose? On the other side, Li Zhu continued to cough. His face was pale as he glanced at Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao also looked at him and said with a smile, Li Zhu, don't pretend to be sick. If you and I work together, we might be able to do something big. Later, we will work together to kill some emperor-level powerhouses. The catacombs will belong to you, and Earth will belong to me. That's the right way. Li Zhu smiled. King Wu, you must be joking. Don't regret it. I'm in a good mood now. That's why I'm working with you. Otherwise, don't even think about it. Zhang Tao said playfully, if you and I work together, it won't be difficult to kill some guys. Li Zhu shook his head with a smile and let out a sigh. King Wu, why do you have to drag me down with you? I don't have much time left. Zhang Tao squinted his eyes and smilingly said, you should ask Daoist Fengyan. You're ranked in the top 10 on the monarch ranking. Why are you saying that you don't have much time left? Daoist Fengyan smilingly said, I'm only responsible for ranking. I'm not involved in anything else. Ha ha ha. Zhang Tao burst out laughing. That was more than enough. Chapter 9:71. In the dark space battlefield, Fang Ping's eyes turned blood red. He said in a low voice, be careful. The chaotic consciousness is getting stronger. Be careful. Everyone, pay attention to your companions. If you feel uncomfortable, tell us immediately. Understood. Everyone responded. Fang Ping said with a smile, but it's not like I've gained nothing. I've heard a lot of gossip. Everyone was silent. Are you so free? What are you thinking about now? Speaking of which, there was a lot of gossip. Moon Spirit, you lunatic. Your man is dead, and you're hooking up with the two from the Demon Palace. Bitch, can the two remnants of the Demon Palace satisfy you? There was a lot of foul language. The powerhouses who died in the past also went crazy. They no longer had the dignity of a powerhouse. They scolded everything. Now, The remaining consciousness here continued the situation. The scolding had not stopped for thousands of years. Tianming, you're just a lackey of the earthly emperor. You're just a projection. How can you live? Tianji, you look like a girl. Are you related to Tianming? Angry scolding and mocking laughter rang in everyone's ears. There was a lot of gossip. Back then, countless powerhouses died in battle. Many of them died here. As the leaders of the North and South factions, the remnants of the earthly Emperor God dynasty, the powerhouses were scolded a lot. Emperor Qing Tong was also scolded a lot. Jiang Kuei's face was livid. He could not say anything. In fact, he could not say anything. They were all dead. There was nothing he could do except for some remnant will. If the gossip at the beginning was just simple gossip and scolding, Fang Ping had heard something useful later. Scam. It's all a scam. Qing Tong, moon spirit, you're in cahoots. The war between the North and the South. Ha ha ha, it's all fake. It's you? You're still alive. The Emperor's disciple. I've seen you before. When Fang Ping and the others approached the core area, his expression changed slightly. The Emperor's disciple? Fang Ping said in a low voice. Someone from the Emperor's disciple appeared. Jiang Kuei was silent. After a while, he said, I don't know. At the last moment of the war, only some powerhouses were still fighting here. I heard that some people came later and ended the war. A group of people has arrived. Fang Ping said calmly, I've heard of it before. I think it's the root of the current cult. Oh, right. How much do you know about this organization? Jiang Kuei and the others looked at each other. After a while, Yu Wuhua said, I have also heard of this organization. After the destruction of the heavenly realm, it had been active. However, during the era of the earthly Emperor God dynasty, it was not too conspicuous. However, in the battle of the earthly Emperor God dynasty, these people might be involved. The fact that the earthly sovereign was a projection was actually very sudden back then. It might have been spread by this group of people. Yu Wuhua continued. Actually, the fall of the heaven realm attracted the attention of all parties at first, but after the projection of the earthly sovereign appeared, everyone no longer suspected that the heaven realm had been destroyed. They only knew that a great battle had taken place, causing the heaven realm to no longer appear in front of everyone. Just like that, the projection of the earthly sovereign established the divine dynasty, which lasted for thousands of years. In the end, it was revealed that it was just a projection, which caused chaos. Experts from all walks of life attacked the divine dynasty and destroyed it. Fang Ping asked, curiously, the earthly emperor should be the demon emperor mentioned in the catacombs. Why would his projection establish a god dynasty? Fang Ping was still very puzzled about this. If the heaven realm was gone, what was the point of him establishing a god dynasty? Yu Wuhua thought for a while and said, maybe it was to buy time. The earthly emperor god dynasty lasted for thousands of years, and the three realms have actually been peaceful for thousands of years too. Actually, some people have guessed that the emperors might not have died completely, or they might have taken advantage of that time to reincarnate. The peace was maintained for thousands of years to allow the emperors to reincarnate and grow up, so that people wouldn't know that the emperors had reincarnated and would search for the emperor's reincarnation, causing the emperors to be killed. There was some truth to this conjecture. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. So, during those thousands of years, the emperors had reincarnated. Have you guessed their targets? Yes, Yu Wuhua nodded, then shook his head and said, but most of those people died later on. When the battle of the earthly emperor god dynasty broke out, those people were also our main targets. However, the possibility of them being the emperor's reincarnation is not high. Some people think that we might have missed someone, or that the emperors had not reincarnated. The earthly emperor-god dynasty lasted for thousands of years. Perhaps the emperors were in deep sleep, buying time for themselves to recover from their injuries. There were two explanations. The first one was that the emperors had reincarnated during that period. The second one was that they had fought for thousands of years to recover from their injuries. The earthly emperor was maintaining stability in the catacombs, so the powerhouses dared not act rashly. Naturally, they dared not covet the emperors. Even though they knew that the heavenly realm had fallen, no one dared to search for the remains of the heavenly realm during that period. During that period, some things in the heavenly realm had been completely concealed. Fang Ping said again, I heard that before the establishment of the earthly emperor-god dynasty, there was a blank period. Yes, about 1,000 or 2,000 years. Yu Wuhua continued. During that period, the Misery Sea was the most chaotic. We know this. At that time, the heavenly realm had just fallen, and the Misery Sea was almost uninhabitable. All kinds of space cracks were densely covered. At that time, a large number of powerhouses had migrated and left the Misery Sea until the later period, it stabilized and became the Misery Sea we know today. After that, the earthly emperor's projection appeared and established the earthly emperor-god dynasty. Fang Ping said, the earthly emperor-god dynasty lasted for more than 3,000 years and was destroyed about 2,500 years ago. Including the previous chaotic period of 1,000 or 2,000 years, it was about 7,000 years, right? More or less. The heavenly realm fell for 7,000 years, and now many emperor-level powerhouses are facing the end of their lifespans. Does that mean that these emperor-level powerhouses all lived in the heavenly realm? Yu Wuhua nodded and said, that's right. In fact, the heavenly realm period was also divided into different periods. In the last 1,000 years before the heavenly realm fell, the emperors almost never appeared in the world again. The period when the emperors were really active in the three realms was about 8,000 years ago. The ancient venerable emperors we speak of generally refer to the powerhouses before this period. Their lifespans are more than 8,000 years old. They were venerable emperors 8,000 years ago. It takes at least 1,000 years for them to become emperors. Therefore, these ancient venerable emperors have a lifespan of more than 9,000 years. Therefore, some of the ancient venerable emperors are approaching the end of their lifespans. In the last 1,000 years of the heavenly realm's existence, the powerhouses who became emperors during this period are actually not called ancient venerable emperors. Generally speaking, they are called emperors who became emperors at the end of the gods and demons era. The 1,000 or 2,000 years between the heavenly realm and the earthly emperor-god dynasty is called the chaotic period. After that, it is the period of the earthly emperor-god dynasty. After that, it is the period of the blessed enclave. Then, the war between the North and the South broke out, causing turmoil for nearly 1,000 years. After that, the demon emperor entered the land realm and caused turmoil again. Yu Wuhua briefly explained the situation, and Fang Ping also thoroughly sorted out the timeline. It was not for nothing to sort out these things. Fang Ping thought for a while and said, after the heavenly realm was destroyed, in the 1,000 years of the chaotic period, did that organization have any activities? The few of them looked at each other. After a while, Yu Shuzi said, actually, none of us are from that era. However, although it was chaotic back then, I don't think I've heard of any signs of this organization's activities. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows and said, in that case, this organization appeared almost at the same time as the earthly emperor's projection. The few powerhouses looked at each other again and said quickly, it seems so. After the earthly emperor-god dynasty was established, there were some activities of this organization, the people who survived from the heavenly realm. Fang Ping smiled and said, in that case, The earthly emperor's projection and the evil sex source organization actually appeared at the same time, and they most likely escaped from the ruins of the heavenly realm. Various parties have made such a judgment. Jiang Kuei chimed in, but he quickly shook his head and said, "Even if we know all this, it's useless. In the past, the heaven realm was a place where many experts lived. Not only were there emperors, there were also some emperors. It was rumored that there were 4 emperors, 8 kings, and 36 saints. These people were all top-notch experts among the emperors. They also had their own training grounds in the heaven realm. It's impossible to find out who established that organization. It's been very mysterious all these years." Fang Ping smiled and did not say much. Very quickly, Fang Ping's eyes flickered. "I think there's someone there. Qi Huanyu and the others?" As soon as he said that, everyone became vigilant. Encountering Qi Huanyu and the others in this place would inevitably result in a battle. They didn't have many people left. If they could avoid it, it would be best to avoid it now. Just when Fang Ping and the others thought that they had encountered Qi Huanyu on the catacombs side, Qi Huanyu's expression also changed as he said in a deep voice, "There's someone here. Stay alert." Everyone was on guard. A moment later, Qi Huanyu took a deep breath and said with fear in his heart, "Be careful, not Fang Ping and the others. This is..." At that moment, many demons appeared in front of them, an expert of the demon clan. Qi Huanyu was slightly surprised. Why would there be experts of the demon clan here? It was not surprising that there were demons. However, the demons from the catacombs were on his side. Most of the demons from the Forbidden Sea were with Fang Ping and the others, and were on Li Wuji's side. There were actually demons here. This was a space battlefield. Where did these demons come from? Where did they come from? At that moment, among the crowd, a demon expert's mentality fluctuated and said, "This is an ancient demon, Cloud Leopard." Rumor has it that cloud leopards only live in the clouds and have been extinct for a long time. Along with the disappearance of the heaven realm, they disappeared in the long river of history. I can't believe there are so many cloud leopards here. Everyone was surprised. It was not just one cloud leopard in front of them, but a group of at least 100. Qi Huanyu's expression changed slightly. Without further ado, he shouted in a low voice, "Kill! These cloud leopards are coming for us." As soon as he finished speaking, everyone rushed forward. A battle broke out on their side, and so did Fang Ping's side. It was the same as Qi Huanyu and the others. However, Fang Ping and the others encountered a group of monsters that looked like porcupines. They did not have as many as Qi Huanyu and the others, with 40 to 50 of them. Fang Ping killed a porcupine monster with a punch. Then, his expression changed slightly. The monster that he had killed did not leave a corpse behind. It was as if it did not exist. It disappeared in the blink of an eye. Everyone was shocked. Fang Ping was surprised at first. Then, as if he had thought of something, he murmured, "A fish-headed monster." The others looked surprised. What did he mean? Fang Ping thought of the fish-headed monster in the cat's source world, an illusory existence. The cat's own fantasy existence. Right now, the space battlefield he was in seemed to be a powerhouse's source space. This monster was killed and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Could it be that this was also an illusion in the powerhouse's source space? This thing can really hurt people. Fang Ping had already seen that someone in the crowd was injured. He was extremely surprised. He had thought that these illusory things in the source space would not be lethal. They were just fantasies. However, at this moment, reality told him that these things were lethal. There are only a few dozen of them. Fang Ping suddenly swallowed. He felt like he had forgotten something. For example, the cat. In the cat's source space, Although it was only 1,000 meters wide, the number of fish-headed monsters was terrifying. There were at least tens of thousands of them. The cat ate hundreds of them in one go. Previously, he had thought that they were all illusory things. He could imagine as many as he wanted. They did not have any combat strength anyway. However, now, Fong Ping suddenly had doubts. Did the fish-headed monsters in the cat's source space really not have any combat strength? If so many fish-headed monsters had rank 9 combat strength, it would be terrifying. At this moment, Jiang Kuei suddenly growled, "Be careful! I'm afraid the space battlefield in this place is still alive. Damn it, is it caused by too many people dying, or did something else happen? The owner of this place won't come back to life, right?" The people were all dead. The source space had turned into a space battlefield. Logically speaking, these things shouldn't exist at all. However, these monsters had appeared now. They had killed the monsters. The disappearance of the monsters had attracted the attention and speculation of these people. Jiang Kuei's expression was solemn. "Be careful." It's said that some powerhouses in the past had a powerful source space. They integrated the materialized objects into the source space and created an alternative world. When they fought in the source space, their combat strength increased greatly. This is also the realm that we spiritual consciousness powerhouses pursue. There are actually source demons here. This powerhouse back then was probably also a spiritual consciousness powerhouse. Moreover, he integrated the materialized objects into the source space. This is why an alternative world can be born in the source space. Fong Ping was stunned. Integrated materialized objects into the source space. This was the first time he had heard of it. Jiang Kuei said in a low voice, "That's right. When the materialized objects have reached this realm, the increase in our combat strength is actually limited. Why can a spiritual consciousness powerhouse compete with a physique powerhouse? It's because of the source space. We are all trying to integrate the materialized objects into the source space to forge a stronger source world. The stronger the source world, the more invincible we are in the source world. Back then, when we fought in the source space, we killed many physique powerhouses." Fong Ping thought of the cat again. This cat had always despised them for fighting outside until they were badly mutilated, but it liked to stab others to death in the source space. In that case, the cat's source world was actually integrated with its materialized objects. Countless thoughts flashed through Fong Ping's mind. In that case, I can actually integrate my materialized objects into the source space and forge a new world in my own source world. Spiritual consciousness powerhouses, which were also mentality powerhouses, fought in the source world most of the time. 9th level mentality. Fong Ping thought about something while killing the monsters. "My crystal house has been exploding recently. This is not a good thing. If I integrate it into the source space, will I be able to avoid this situation? Moreover, the source space integrated with the materialized objects seem to be able to create things. These demons seem to be created out of thin air." Fong Ping realized that he seemed to have neglected the mentality powerhouses. At this moment, while fighting, he asked quickly, "I almost forgot to ask. You mentality powerhouses seem to be fighting with your bodies too. Why don't I see many of you fighting with the source space?" Jiang Kuei explained, "It's not that we don't need to. The key is that it's extremely dangerous to fight with same-rank powerhouses. In the previous battles, we released our spiritual consciousness to intimidate and kill the enemy. The battle in the source space is mainly aimed at martial artists with weak spiritual consciousness. This way, we can end the battle faster. Then, if you guys have weak vitality but strong mentality, will you be stronger fighting in the source space?" "Of course," Jiang Kuei said. "This is related to the completeness of your source space and the degree of integration of the materialized objects. Us spiritual consciousness powerhouses can actually use 1:2 at a critical moment, doing two things at once. We can fight with powerhouses with our bodies, and the source space can pull the enemy's will and mentality into it. However, it's very difficult. Moreover, our bodies are slightly weaker, so we mainly use our spiritual consciousness to fight with our bodies. Fang Ping was tempted, doing two things at once. If that's the case, I can use my mentality to kill the enemy while fighting with my body in the future. Currently, he also used his mentality to cooperate with his body. However, the use of his mentality was more for self-detonation to kill the enemy. Now, however, the cracks on his brain nucleus had increased. Fang Ping was actually worried. If he integrated it into the source space, perhaps he would not need to self-detonate anymore. Then, how do we integrate it? Jiang Kuei said nothing. He was asking everything. What was Fang Ping thinking? This was a cultivation method that specialized in the path of spiritual consciousness. Fang Ping seemed to have realized this too. Suddenly, he thought of the cultivation method that came from Quechang Mountain. Could it be that this was what it was talking about? Old Zhang seemed to have gotten it a long time ago, but he had not passed it down. Could it be that old Zhang integrated his materialized objects into the source space? This guy, his mentality is very strong. He cut it many times, but nothing happened. Last time, he was almost beaten to death. Could it be that because his mentality was useless and he integrated it into the source space? Is he hiding his strength? Fang Ping licked his lips. Old Zhang might have integrated his own materialized objects. Last time, maybe it was not perfected yet, so he did not use it, or he was lulling his opponent. He might also have a powerful source space. This guy, what does the source space look like? Forget about him. What about me? Could it be that I can create a new world in my own source world? At this time, Fang Ping thought of the great dream he had when his mentality materialized. At that time, he wanted to perfect the materialized objects, create an earth, and use it to smash people. Later, he realized that this project was too big. It was so big that he had lost all hope. Therefore, in the later stages, what he had been perfecting was actually his house of gold, not the entire materialized object. Until now, Sun City was still Sun City. There were not many changes. When Fang Ping thought of this, he asked hurriedly again, could it be that the more perfect the materialized objects are, the more stable the source world is? This did not involve cultivation methods. Jiang Kuei said again, that's right. After the materialized objects are integrated into the source world, what we need to do is to perfect our own source world. When that happens, the materialized objects and the source world will actually be one. The more perfect your source world is, the more powerful it will be, and the stronger your strength will be. It will also not be easily destroyed by the enemy. Otherwise, if the source space is destroyed, you will be in trouble. You might fall into a deep sleep forever. I can create these demons at will. Jiang Kuei said immediately, of course not. Creating life in the source world is also a watershed. Under normal circumstances, you need to have at least emperor-level strength to have a hope of creating life in the source world, creating something out of nothing. Of course, it will consume your energy, including your spiritual consciousness. Can these demons of the source world appear in the outside world? They can't. Jiang Kuei answered straightforwardly. The source world is a world that exists between reality and illusion. The life here can only survive in the source world. We are now in the space battlefield. That's why we encountered these demons. If we go out, these demons actually don't exist. What about the Emperor? Fang Ping said quickly, if the Emperor also integrates with the materialized objects into the source world and creates life afterward, can they walk out? The earthly sovereign projection that you mentioned is different from a clone. Isn't it a life created in the source world? At this moment, Fong Ping was extremely clear-headed. The earthly sovereign projection, not the earthly sovereign's clone. How did it project? He did not understand it before, but now he understood a little. Could it be that a projection of the earthly sovereign was created in the source world, then the life of the source world walked out, and that was how the earthly sovereign projection appeared? Jiang Kuei pondered for a moment before saying, maybe, whether it is or not, we are not sure either. However, the earthly sovereign projection is indeed not a clone. If it really is a clone, then it is connected to the earthly sovereign's spiritual consciousness. However, the earthly sovereign projection is not connected to spiritual consciousness. It may also be a special ability of the emperor. Of course, we cannot rule out the possibility that it is a life in the source world. Creating a world, creating life. At this moment, Fong Ping was in a trance. Some things could not bear to think about. If he thought about it, it would be too horrifying. The earth in his past life. What kind of place was it? Could it be that it was a powerhouse's source world? As for him, Fong Ping, could it be that he was the reincarnation of a top-notch powerhouse's source world? The cat said that I stole energy. Could it be that what I stole was that powerhouse's everything? Was the system in my eyes something that belonged to that powerhouse? That powerhouse might have fallen, and he had walked out of his source world. Coincidentally, Fong Ping was in a trance when he was hit by a few monsters. The others were a little surprised when they saw this scene. These monsters' combat strength was around rank 8. Fong Ping was actually hit. Was he injured? Am I a real existence, or am I just a fake life? Fong Ping shook his head. He could not think about it. If he thought about it, he would doubt himself. He could not think about it. He was about to enter the origin Tao realm. If he doubted himself at this time, he would be in big trouble. Something big might happen. Fong Ping suppressed the palpitation in his heart. He quickly killed those monsters, pushing everything to the bottom of his heart. Chapter 972. Although these demons were not weak, they were not too strong either. Soon, these demons were all killed. No one died. Fong Ping had just breathed a sigh of relief when someone in the crowd said in a low voice, "He's used up 30% of his vitality." Me too. These demons seem to be here on purpose to drain our blood qi. Someone is secretly controlling all of this. There are still living people here. Or is the master of this place really going to wake up? Everyone was a little worried. Although everyone had brought recovery pills or treasures, these things were also limited. In the previous battle, everyone had already used up a lot of them. The conditions on the human side were even worse. He relied almost entirely on the imperishable substance that Fong Ping gave him to recover. Now, how many more did Fong Ping have? Fong Ping did not speak. He glanced at his own data. Wealth, 5 billion points vitality, 185,400 calories, 185,500 calories. Spirit, 8,999 hertz, 10,005 hertz, separable consciousness body. Power of destruction, 78 yuan, 78 yuan. Storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus energy barrier. 1 point/minute, plus aura simulation, 10 per minute, plus origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time. His vitality and mentality had increased slightly. He had 5 billion wealth points left, 250,000 yuan worth of imperishable substance. Currently, the remaining rank 9 powerhouses were all the extremely powerful ones. Once they used up all their energy to recover, they would need at least 50 yuan or more. There were more than 60 people, and they all relied on Fong Ping. That was more than 3,000 yuan each time. And this was not counting the injuries. If they were injured, the consumption would be even greater. In the outside world, it was still fine. Everyone could quickly convert energy to recover. On the other hand, in the space battlefield, if there was no recovery and everyone went all out in a life-and-death battle, a rank 9 powerhouse would probably run out of energy in half an hour. He had to do it at least twice an hour, a consumption of close to 10,000 yuan. There were more than 60 powerhouses. If they did not suffer any serious injuries, Fang Ping would use up 10,000 indestructible substances in an hour. In a day and a night, he would be depleted, and this was the most ideal situation. His own consumption was even greater, and he was still tempering his body. Perhaps he wouldn't be able to last that long. Thinking of this, Fang Ping said quickly, "Everyone, speed up. We must evacuate this place within a day." At the same time, Qi Huanyu and the others also looked gloomy. The demons had been killed. However, they had also expended a lot of energy. As for their losses, it wasn't much. Looking ahead, Qi Huanyu took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "I'm afraid there are more demons ahead. Everyone, be careful. Remember to maintain a certain amount of energy." The purpose of these demons was obvious. They seemed to be here to exhaust them. After saying that, Qi Huanyu shouted, "Split into 3 teams and take turns to fight." This was the only way to give some people time to recover. If they all fought together, it would be very difficult to fight. Time passed slowly. On the morning of the 1st of March, Fang Ping and the others entered the battlefield. At this moment, the sun was shining brightly outside. Almost 10 hours had passed. In these 10 hours, 90% of the experts had died. Now, although there were very few casualties, everyone's hearts were clenched. At this time, both sides must have entered the spatial battlefield. Whether or not they could seize the treasure, whether or not they could break through the battlefield at the last moment, and whether or not they could successfully bring back the treasure, these were all things that everyone was concerned about. On top of the peak, Old Man Li and the rest had recovered a lot by now. Old Man Li exhaled and said, "Minister, let us go in again." Right now, Fang Ping and the rest have much fewer people than the other party. After suffering so many losses, I'm afraid the catacombs won't be fooled again. Zhang Tao ignored him and looked at the battlefield for a while. After a while, he said, "The humans have suffered heavy losses this time. We can't go in and add fuel to the fire anymore. We have to preserve some of our strength. All of you, go back now." Zhang Tao said lightly, "Go to Imperial Sea Mountain and wait." Right now, Sino Nation's passageways are almost empty. Be careful of the catacombs, people rushing in now. The absolute peak was here. There were about 80 rank 9s in Sino Nation. That was including Polaris City. This time, Polaris City and Fang Ping brought nearly 50 rank 9s. There were only 30 rank 9s defending in Sino Nation. Although there were so many rank 9s, if something happened, it would be difficult to have the strength to help. Hearing Zhang Tao's words, a few of them were slightly worried. However, Old Man Li knew something. At the thought of this, he said, "All right, I'll bring people back to defend the catacombs first. Minister, if Fang Ping and the rest come out, be careful." "I don't need you to tell me." Zhang Tao laughed. Then, without another word, he blasted a black passageway with a punch. On the other side of the passageway, they could see Imperial Sea Mountain, thousands of miles away. Old Man Li and the rest were shocked by his strength. However, some of them had seen it once before. Without further ado, the injured evacuated one after another. Around them, Life King and the rest watched for a while. Someone sneered and said nothing. "Evacuate? Evacuating now might not be useful. This time, the land of rebirth's true kings had come out in full force. They might have big plans. If these true kings of rebirth died here, these people would die even if they evacuated to the ends of the earth. Old Man Li and the rest left quickly. After they left, Zhang Tao breathed a sigh of relief. At least he had sent a batch of people back. This time, these people did not die. After going back and cultivating hard, they would all improve tremendously. On Li Changxing's side, Zhang Tao felt that there was hope for him to walk another 200 meters on the main road. After another 200 meters, Li Changxing and Qi Huanyu's strength would probably be almost the same. As for Wu Quishan and Wu Chuan, both of them were almost at the 9th stage now. After this, it would probably not be difficult for them to reach the 9th or 10th stage. As for Wu Chuan's resentful expression before he left, he pretended that he did not see it. He could not blame others if he was crippled. If he could not step into the Paragon, what could he do? That was fine too. Wu Chuan was one of the 4 guardians, after all. He was experienced and prudent. After Zhang Tao and the rest left, Sino Nation also needed a martial artist like this to guard. Fang Ping was too young. Wu Quishan was his vice-chancellor. Although Snake King was steady at times, he could not resist Fang Ping's persuasion sometimes. Tian Mu had entered the Heaven Division now. Li Diyong's combat strength was not enough. Kong, Ling Yuan was a good person. He might continue to be in a coma this time. What was the point of counting on him? No matter how he thought about it, Zhang Tao felt that it was still necessary for Wu Chuan to stay. It might not be a good thing for him to be a newly promoted paragon now. A newly promoted paragon was too weak. If he participated in these things, he would easily be the first to fall. That was what Zhang Tao thought. Wu Chuan really did not think so. When he arrived at Mount Yuhai, Wu Chuan's expression was melancholic. His lofty aspirations vanished into thin air once again. Damn it! I've embarrassed myself again. Wu Chuan suddenly cursed under his breath. He could not go on like this anymore. Every time he was beaten half to death halfway through, he had no choice but to withdraw from the battle. This time, he had decided to advance. He had said that he would not come out until he advanced. In the blink of an eye, he was sent out again. Beside him, Tian Mu chuckled. You'll get used to it. It's not the first time anyway. Wu Chuan rolled his eyes wildly. Stop bullshitting. Although he said that, he took a look at the people around him. Wu Chuan still let out a sigh. He sighed. Many old friends have left again this time. The old people are getting fewer and fewer. Wu Chuan patted Li Hansong, who was still recovering. He lamented, the new generation is replacing the old. These few brats have grown so fast. I think their combat strength now is probably around 3 or 4 stage rank, 9. Do you guys think, after some time, when they reach the Paragon, will I still be at Origin? The possibility is not low. Wu Quishan said casually, your improvement is too slow. It can't be helped. Wu Chuan's expression darkened. What did he say? My improvement is slow? I'm not that old either. 2 years ago, I was only 3 or 4 stage rank, 9. Now, I'm almost 9 stage rank, 9. Is my improvement very slow? All right, very slow. Wu Chuan was helpless. So slow that it was scary. It could not be helped. The people around him were improving fast. Instead, he was the one who was slow. Not continuing this topic, Wu Chuan asked again, can Fang Ping and the rest get the Demon Emperor's relics this time and return successfully? Everyone said nothing. No one could guarantee this. They could only hope that Fang Ping could succeed. The key was that fewer people would die. If more people died, Sino Nation's vitality would be greatly damaged this time. At the same time, in the depths of the Forbidden Sea, the old cat's tongue stretched out. It was so tiring. It was almost done. Looking at his masterpiece, the old cat was quite satisfied. It was very cute, very cute. In the void, the black rift from before was gone. It turned into a huge door. On the door was an imprint of a cat eating a fish-headed monster. The transformation was a success. This is the Sky Gate. The old cat nodded seriously. Yes, this is the Sky Gate. The old cat created it. As for whether it was inappropriate to imprint a cat, this was not within its consideration. Open the Sky Gate and enter the heavenly realm. When the time comes, the pseudo-emperor and the rest will block this door. That's more or less enough. The old cat sat in the void, staring at the door for a while. After thinking for a while, he said, "It's not domineering enough." After thinking for a while, the old cat added a few strokes on the big cat's head on the door, adding the word king. Meow. On the door, the big cat drawn on it suddenly became fierce, but no matter how he looked at it, it was still less domineering. The old cat racked his brains. Would this work? Forget it. That's it. The old cat was also tired. He could not be bothered anymore. He continued to sit in the void, holding his fat head with his claws. After thinking for a while, he extended his claws. Divine weapons appeared in front of him. Looking at the door, the old cat rolled and crawled over. After thinking for a while, he opened the door, revealing the heavenly realm ruins inside. Throw some divine weapons. When they see them, they will rush in immediately. The old cat muttered to himself. The old cat muttered to itself. It threw a few divine weapons inside, with all its might. Then, Fong Ping's face appeared in its mind. It said quickly, "Liar, liar, I've lost so many divine weapons. 13 divine weapons, including the god-slaying saber. That's 14. You must remember to return them to me." After saying that, the old cat hung up, quite satisfied. 14 divine weapons. He remembered it. The liar and the pseudo-emperor wanted to return 14 divine weapons to him. As for where so many of them came from, it was not his concern. Everything is ready. The old cat looked at the heavenly realm inside the door. After a while, he blinked his big eyes and said, "No, it's still a little lacking. The divine weapons are not enough. I have to get some real corpses in. No, I have to get something with the aura of an emperor." The old cat racked his brains again. The pseudo-emperor was really annoying. Setting up traps was too tiring. How long had it been since he did this? When the big dog was still alive, he seemed to have done it a few times. Once he set up a very, very big trap and lured the 3,000 horses of the Southern Imperial family into it. He remembered that he ate an entire horse feast that day and ate until he was full for a few years. However, the big dog was really miserable. After that, he was beaten by Emperor Nen until his tail was bald. The old cat shrugged his fat neck. Scared. Emperor Nen probably didn't know that this was set up by him, right? No, he had long forgotten. It was set up by the big dog. What did it have to do with him? He didn't eat much. What 3,000 horses? He only ate 3,000 horse legs. The rest were all eaten by the big dog. I still need the aura of an emperor, the old cat thought for a while again. After a while, he took out something reluctantly. A big seal, a big golden seal. The heavenly quartz jade seal should be enough, right? The old cat muttered and mumbled, "I'll keep it as a pillow. It's just a little hard. Forget it, forget it. I'll go back and buy something softer online." This emperor's aura is very strong. They all know what the heavenly quartz seal is. They will know what it is at a glance. They will definitely guess that there is an emperor's corpse inside. The old cat's fat face was full of smiles. This should be enough. Liar, Liar! I lost another 9 Emperor seal. It's even more powerful than a divine artifact. It's worth at least 10 divine artifacts. Remember to pay me back. The old cat reported again, and then continued to cut off contact. I have the aura of an emperor and a divine artifact. What am I missing? The old cat looked at the sky again. What was missing? This arrangement could definitely attract many people, but it might not be able to attract all of them. The fake human emperor actually wanted him to harm himself. It was too cruel. He wouldn't do it. I have to make the great path tremble. I have to make them think that the great path here is about to open. I can see the path of the emperor. The old cat began to scratch his head. This was a little difficult. He hadn't used his brain for a long time. Using it all at once was really a little tiring. What should I do? The old cat muttered to himself. After a while, he seemed to have an idea. He smiled happily and said, I got it. Then the old cat began to raise his but stick out his tongue and continue to work. Once I'm done with this job, I can rest for a few years and have a good night's sleep. You still want me to go in? I won't go in. Right, I have to sneak in and open a small hole. Then I will sneak out and go back to bask in the sun and sleep. I'll be so angry. The old cat had a smug look on his face. Are you guys angry or not? You're all locked in and I ran away. Are you angry? There's a hole at the bottom of the bath pool. Big Dog is so perverted. He even sneaked in last time. I won't do it. The old cat thought of a good place to open a hole. That place was very good. You wouldn't have thought that I would open a small hole there, right? When you all come in, I'll run. I'll let you fight and go home to bask in the sun and eat cat food. Right, the liar also promised me that he would give me a lot of delicious food when I go back. I wonder if the liar has prepared it. The old cat became even more smug. It wagged its tail. It seemed that after today's work, it could go back at night. Let the fake human emperor and the others stay here. It didn't want to stay here. It was very boring. The old cat made arrangements in full swing. At this moment, Zhang Tao was also thinking about whether the cat was reliable or not. If it was not reliable, he would have to do it himself. He was not unprepared. He had prepared something. This cat made a fake heavenly realm. It'll be a little troublesome if it doesn't look like one. I hope it's more or less realistic. As for the emperor's aura, Zhang Tao glanced at the void in the distance. The heaven-suppressing king was over there. Perhaps he would have to rely on him. At this moment, Zhang Tao didn't know that the old cat not only didn't make a fake one, but also made a real heavenly realm fragment. Not only that, but everyone probably didn't expect that the 9 Emperors' seal would be with the old cat. The 9 Emperors' seal was not an artifact. It was similar to an imperial jade seal. In the past, when the heavenly court ruled the 3 realms, all the emperor's resolutions and decrees were stamped with the 9 Emperors' seal representing the 9 emperors. Not only was the emperor's aura strong, but the aura of the 9 emperors was also frighteningly strong. It was countless times stronger than the earthly emperor seal of the earthly emperor god dynasty. Just as the old cat took out the 9 emperors' seal, in the void in the distance, the heaven-suppressing king's body trembled slightly, and a small jade seal appeared in his hand. The old man frowned slightly. The heavenly king seal is reacting. What happened? The heaven-suppressing king looked around and murmured, "Is someone familiar here?" At the same time, in the Forbidden Sea, on an inconspicuous island, a figure also trembled slightly, and a jade seal appeared in his hand. At this moment, the seal was also trembling slightly. The person holding the seal was a very young and ordinary man. The man's face was illusory, and he was dressed plainly. He looked around and said softly, The heavenly king seal is moving. What triggered it? The man looked around and chuckled after a while. It seems something that I don't know has happened. The man stopped investigating and looked toward the coast. This place was very far from the sovereign battlefield, and there was also Mount Imperial Sea between them. However, the man seemed to see everything that was thousands of miles away. He murmured softly, "Li Xuanxia, you can't hold back anymore." With a chuckle, the man's figure instantly disappeared. A moment later, an incomparably huge crow demon beast landed and instantly turned into human form. It looked around, and its sharp eyes pierced through the void. It said in a low voice, "Did a powerhouse stop here? Who is it?" The crow demon beast stayed for a while and did not care anymore. It broke through the void again and disappeared from the island in the blink of an eye. After another moment, the crow demon beast broke through the void and appeared again. It looked around and murmured, "Did I sense wrongly?" This time, the crow demon beast really did not stay and disappeared without a trace. In the next second, the illusory man appeared in the same place again, as if he had never left. He looked at the void where the big crow disappeared and chuckled. "This crow has become an emperor. Time is merciless. 10,000 years. How many people turned to dust, and how many powerhouses disappeared in the long river of history. How many old friends were there now? Some inconspicuous people in the past had also stepped onto the stage now. In a few days, everything will end." The man murmured, "Tired, tired." After 10,000 years, he was really tired. With a sigh, the man disappeared completely. In the king battlefield, in the second king palace, silence reigned. After a long time, Tian Ming monarch suddenly said, "Is the emperor still alive?" The emperor was the earthly emperor, the founder of the God dynasty. Tian Ji monarch said indifferently, "Regardless of whether he is alive or dead, I'm afraid he can no longer interfere. Otherwise, he would have appeared all these years." Tian Ming monarch said again, "Apart from you and me, how many of the 9 hall masters are still alive?" Now, Tian Ming and Tian Ji monarch both had 9 hall masters. They were not unique and had existed since the era of the earthly emperor god dynasty. The 2 monarchs followed the old rules of the dynasty and created 9 hall masters. Back then, the earth emperor god dynasty was breached. As the 2 hall masters of the demon palace, they escaped from God continent. As for the other hall masters, some of them died in battle, while some appeared in the battle 2,000 years ago and died in the space battlefield. However, the whereabouts of the 9 palace masters and a few others were unknown, and it was unknown whether they were dead or alive. Tian Ji monarch said indifferently, "I don't know. Maybe some of them have changed their names. The current overseas Immortal Islands island masters might be those people." "That's true." Tian Ming monarch sighed. The 9 hall masters and the 10 commanders of the god court were almost all dead in that battle. Do you think His Majesty has an ulterior motive for leaving this to us? Can that thing really open the sealed Tao? We have studied it for so many years, but we have never touched that door. Tian Ji monarch frowned slightly. They had discussed this for a long time. Back then, the 9 palaces palace masters were all there, as were the 10 great commanders, all of them powerful individuals among the emperor level. Eventually, His Majesty gave it to them, which was really surprising. Now that the past was brought up again, Tian Ji monarch thought about it and said, "Those people said that we can't see the door or touch it because we haven't nurtured it enough. Only the nurturing of a large number of experts can let this thing see the light of day again. This time, whether or not he could touch that door, he would know. If we get the seed of rebirth, we might be able to open the door and see the Emperor Tao." Tian Ming monarch nodded slightly and said no more. However, he still felt a little uneasy. Could they really get the earthly emperor's relic successfully this time? Could the heavenly court be built successfully? After so many years of preparation, everything that should be prepared had been prepared. Success or failure depended on this one move. At this moment, Tian Ming monarch looked at the void, where the black hole was. Since everyone wants to break the seal of this place, instead of letting you guys do it, I might as well do it myself. You all want us to come out again. Then we will do as you wish. Tian Ming monarch regained his composure. Since he went into hibernation that year, he had been preparing. Thousands of years had passed. Even if he failed that year, he might not fail this time. Inside the space battlefield, Fang Ping blew up an antelope monster with a punch and was panting slightly. 3 hours had passed. He still had not reached the place. This damn place was too big, and it was too torturous. More than 400 million wealth points have been used up. Fang Ping was a little worried. This place had no more wealth points to use. If they continued to use it, sooner or later, everyone would die. They were overwhelmed by the large number of origin demons. If it were not for Fang Ping's abundant wealth points, they might have lost some members a long time ago. The next moment, Fang Ping's ears twitched slightly. He looked to the left. More demons? Soon, Fang Ping growled. People from the catacombs. Everyone was on their guard. Had they finally encountered powerhouses from the catacombs? After a while, a group of people appeared in front of everyone. They looked rather disheveled at this moment. The number of people had decreased once again. More than 150 people had entered. At this moment, only 130 people were left. In these few hours, the catacombs had lost another 20 or so powerhouses. The ratio of people had reached 2 to 1. There were 130 powerhouses in the catacombs. On Fang Ping's side, there were still 65 powerhouses. Chapter 973. Fang Ping. Qi Huanyu's face was a little gloomy. His expression became even more gloomy when he saw that almost no one on Fang Ping's side was injured. You must have encountered those monsters too. Qi Huanyu looked at Fang Ping from hundreds of meters away and said in a low voice, "At this point, do you still want to fight to the death with us?" They clearly had the advantage in numbers, but Qi Huanyu was very patient because there was a madman on the other side. Fang Ping was a lunatic, a complete lunatic. This guy didn't consider the consequences of his actions at all. What treasure? This guy was too clear. His opportunity was people. Killing was his main goal. Qi Huanyu was really troubled by the fact that he had encountered such a lunatic. This time, however, Fang Ping did not start a fight just because of a disagreement. Fang Ping looked at Qi Huanyu with a smile and said playfully, "Do you want to pay a toll?" "You, don't be angry." Fang Ping chuckled. "Qi Huanyu, we've dealt with each other many times. Don't be so angry. It's rare for us to meet here, and now that we're facing a crisis together, let's have a good chat." Qi Huanyu was speechless. Fang Ping looked at Hua Ping in the crowd and smiled. "I let you go last time, but Hua, you didn't give me the 10 birch fruits he promised. Now give them to me. Otherwise, Qi Huanyu, no one can renege on someone who owes me money. This guy doesn't want to give it to me. Either you kill him, or you keep him alive to play with me. Otherwise, we'll fight to the death." Qi Huanyu didn't say anything. Hua Ping, who was in the crowd, threw a jade box over and said, "Your Highness wanted to give this to Minister Fang, but you never found the opportunity." The entire place was silent. The atmosphere was extremely strange. Jiang Kuei, Yu Wuhua, and the others were dumbfounded. Is that even possible? The other party's people really delivered the treasures without saying a word. Hua Ping didn't care what the others thought of him. There were some things that Hua you really did say. If Fong Ping had forgotten, then so be it. If he had not, then this fellow was not dead. If he met him, then he would give him a treasure. The last time Fong Ping had released Hua Ping, Hua Yu had indeed agreed to exchange 10 birch fruits for it. In the land of rebirth, it was fine if one went back on one's word with a martial artist. They were all mortal enemies, so who would pay the bill? However, Fong Ping was the one who owed it. This fellow was a madman. If you didn't give it to him, he would definitely remember it. He might even sneak into the Imperial Hua region and kill Hua Yu. If one were to become enemies with such a person, one had to be careful. Qi Huanyu's expression turned even uglier when Hua Ping handed over the treasure without hesitation. In an instant, the morale of the army was greatly reduced. Hua Ping was considered strong on the Skyplants Kingdom's side. He had reached the 7th stage of origin, and he represented King Hua. King Hua's status in the Skyplants Kingdom wasn't low. When they ran into Fong Ping, Hua Ping immediately gave him the treasure that Fong Ping said he would give. This was a huge blow to their morale. Qi Huanyu was furious, but he also heaved a sigh of relief. It was very complicated. He was actually a little worried that Hua Ping wouldn't be willing to give up on a powerhouse on his side. If that happened, he would have no choice but to fight Fong Ping to the death. Now that Hua Ping had given it to him, even though it was a bit embarrassing, there was still a chance for him to ease the tension. Opposite, Fong Ping accepted the jade box, opened it, and smiled. Not bad. So, this is a birch fruit. It feels similar to a maple fruit, but it's still a little lacking. Looks like the companion birch in the King Hua territory isn't that great after all. Fong Ping had eaten a few maple fruits. They were used to increase one's mentality, and each one was worth close to 200 billion. The birch fruits were a little lacking. Fong Ping had obtained 10 of them, and his wealth had increased by 150 million points. This meant that each fruit was worth about 150 billion. At the same time, this also meant that Qi Huanyu really didn't want to start a fight right now. Otherwise, he would still be in danger. His wealth had increased, which meant that Qi Huanyu didn't want to fight Fong Ping to the death. Fong Ping glanced at the birch fruits and didn't say much. He tossed them to Kong Lingyuan, Li Daong, and the others behind him. Eat them now. It'll increase your mentality and recover it. Kong Lingyuan and the others didn't say much. They divided the fruits among themselves and started eating. Opposite them, the corner of Hua Ping's mouth twitched. Even the King Hua territory needed a long time to accumulate 10 birch fruits. If it wasn't for the sake of safety, Hua, you wouldn't have let him bring them with him. Now, Fong Ping didn't want to eat them and tossed them to his companions. Fong Ping didn't care what they thought. He looked at the people opposite him and chuckled. This place consumes a lot of resources. I see that most of the things you brought here have been used up, right? I'll give you a chance now. I want to buy a few rank 9 unique fruits, the kind that can save lives. As for the price, 100 yuan for one. 100 yuan is enough for you to recover twice. Even if you're injured, it'll be enough if it's not a fatal injury. The atmosphere was getting weirder. Both sides had been fighting for so long, and this guy was starting to do business now. Jiang Kuei growled in a low voice. Fong Ping, they were facing an enemy. At a time like this, he still wanted to support the enemy. Was Fong Ping crazy? Recovery treasures were the most important. What rank? 9 unique fruits. Even if they could save lives. So what? They had no energy, no vitality, and severe injuries. Even if they survived in this place, they would still die. Fong Ping pressed his hands together and smiled. It's fine. A bunch of useless people. So what if they recover? Who knows how many source demons there are in this place? Also, I think there might be more important people behind them. Don't these guys want the treasures? Fine, if they don't go, should we? When they clear the obstacles in front of us, we'll go and take advantage of it. We'll give them some support so that they won't be easily killed. He said this in front of everyone. He didn't hide it at all. Under normal circumstances, Fong Ping would not hide things that he was well aware of. Only by saying it out loud could the other party lower their guard. At this moment, Qi Huanyu didn't care about this. He said in a low voice, "You know there are people in the depths? What is this origin demon race?" "Idiot!" Fong Ping sneered and scolded. "Do you really think it's an accident that you've been exhausted to this extent? Someone is waiting to take advantage of you. You're so stupid. Do you think you're fit to be the commander-in-chief of the heavenly court?" Qi Huanyu's expression was cold. He didn't explain. He knew there was a problem. However, on Divine Land's side, most of the powerhouses were born in the past 1,000 years. Indeed, they didn't know much about some things. On Fong Ping's side, if not for Jiang Kuei and the others, he wouldn't know anything either. Fong Ping was too lazy to say more. He said impatiently, "Are you trading or not?" "Qi Huanyu, it's only a matter of time before I kill you. If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow." However, killing is killing. It's not a problem to trade now. Of course, if you think you're capable of killing me and taking these, you can try. I'll only accept rank 9 unique fruits, the kind that can save lives and heal the source, or something like the cat fruit. I won't accept anything else. The catacombs fell silent. Some of them were actually tempted, especially the demons guarding the 10,000 demon royal court. Among the rank 9 unique fruits, the only one Fong Ping had seen was the rose flower. It was extremely rare, but it wasn't that there weren't any. There were many rank 9 monster plants in the 2 demon royal courts. Some of the demons were rank 9 monster plants themselves, and they could even produce rank 9 monster plants on their own. Now, they were severely exhausted, and their reserves were almost depleted. If this went on, they might follow in the footsteps of the others. Everyone knew clearly in their hearts whether saving their lives or treasures were more important. Soon, a demon's mentality fluctuated. Fong Ping, 100 yuan of imperishable substance is too little. Do you know how much a demon general consumes to produce a unique fruit? Not only does it require a large amount of fountain of life, but it also consumes lifespan. Your strength will also decline, Fong Ping said impatiently. It's none of my business. It's your business how much you consume. If you keep talking nonsense, 50 yuan. If you can't do it, then fight me. Don't worry, I'll give you some for free if you win. How's that? No one uttered a word. There were so many of them when they came, but none of them took advantage of Fong Ping's side, much less now. The combat strength ratio of 2 to 1 seemed to be stronger, but these catacombs powerhouses were not that confident. On Fong Ping's side, there were many powerhouses on the ranking list. Kong Lingyuan in 3rd place, Su Yunfei in 5th place, Jiang Kuei, who was previously 11th, and Li Chongsheng, who broke through to 12th place. Yu Wuhua in 14th place, Li Wuji in 21st place, and Fong Ping, who had the combat strength of the top 10. There were still 6 powerhouses in the top 30 on Fong Ping's side. On the catacomb side, other than Qi Huanyu, there was only a big demon from the 1,000 demon royal court who was ranked 26th. Under such circumstances, could they really gain the upper hand? After a moment of silence, someone spoke again. "I'll trade." As soon as this was said, many people looked at the powerhouse who spoke from the catacombs side. This person was from the Sky Plant Royal Court. Fong Ping did not know him, but looking at the symbol on his body, Fong Ping smiled and said, "Someone from the Apricot King? I heard that there's an apricot tree in the Apricot King region that has made an agreement with the Apricot King. Since rank 7, is this the fruit of that tree? No, the person said in a low voice. This is something I obtained in the outer region. It's also the only fruit that a demon general produced at the last moment of its life. What's its use? The effects of the fruits of different demon plants were different. Fang Ping really needed this now. There were a few people he had not saved. Nan Yunping, Wang Qinghai, and Zheng Tao had been asleep for a long time. After saving Kong Lingyuan and Tian Mu, those treasures in Sino Nation had been used up. Previously, Fang Ping had obtained a cat fruit. Now, he needed at least 2 more fruits that were useful to the origin. Moreover, who knew if old Kong would go into hibernation again? It was not just him. It was possible for others. The more of these things, the better. There were only 2 kinds of fruits that Fang Ping valued the most. One had a mentality recovery effect, and the other had an origin recovery effect. As for some fruits that could increase the strength of the body or the strength of mentality, he did not have much need for them now. According to what your land of rebirth said, a mentality of around 6,000 hertz can be increased to at least 500 hertz and above. This person said hurriedly, a normal god general's indestructible god is also within this range. A normal peak rank 8 martial artist with a golden body 6th refinement would indeed have a mentality of around 5 or 6,000 hertz. At rank 9, the origin could not go far, and that was about it. Unless one reached the level of Kong Lingyuan and the rest, where their mentality was around 9,000 hertz. This thing was indeed a treasure. If a rank 8 6th refinement martial artist ate this thing, there was hope for their mentality to increase and achieve golden body 7th refinement. There were not many who could achieve golden body 7th refinement. However, Fang Ping frowned and said, this thing is ordinary. What I need is the only fruit of recovery. 50 yuan, I'll trade. If you don't want to trade, then forget it. I'll remember you. When I go back and pick up your corpse, maybe I can take it for free. The person opposite him was livid. He had no words to refute what he said. Pick up his corpse? Fang Ping actually only used 50 yuan of imperishable substance to trade for a rank 9 monster plants, only fruit. It was appalling that Fang Ping had taken advantage of the situation to this extent. However, both sides were enemies, and their hatred was as deep as the sea. Thinking about it, there was nothing much to say. Fang Ping was blatantly robbing them. It was up to him whether to trade or not. This person's injuries were not light, and he had expended a lot of energy. If this went on, he might really be unable to fight anymore after a few more battles. Just as he was about to speak, Qi Huanyu said, Fang Ping, it's impossible to take it for free. Even if we really die here, we won't let you have it. It's still possible to destroy some before we die. If you want to trade, then Fang Ping said impatiently, fine, I won't trade. When you die, I'll go pick up your corpses one by one. If it doesn't work, I'll go to the restricted area a few more times. I'm just too lazy to make another trip. Do you really think that your things are so precious? The catacombs people's hearts were in turmoil. This guy made it sound so simple. If it didn't work, he would go to the restricted area. Did his family own the restricted area? Very soon, everyone felt inexplicably sad, especially the people from Sky Plant's royal court. They really knew what Fang Ping had gone through. Last time, this guy ran to the imperial city and turned the place upside down. In the end, he returned to the land of rebirth safe and sound. The person who wanted to trade no longer hesitated this time. He said, all right, 50 yuan it is then. You send the things over first. He was worried about Fang Ping. Fang Ping was too difficult to trust. Fang Ping sneered. You've never seen the world. Having said that, he tossed over a small ball of imperishable substance. Many people were ready to make a move. Fong Ping said playfully, "Use it yourself. Use it now, in case you get killed later. You're not the only one who's exhausted, including Qi Huanyu. He might want to get some imperishable substance to store up now. Be careful not to let others take advantage of it." As soon as he said that, the crowd became restless again. Qi Huanyu let out a cold humph. He looked at Fong Ping coldly, but he did not stop the trade. No matter what, letting some people recover from their injuries and recover their combat strength would strengthen their side. At this time, anyone's strength was beneficial to them. As for killing Fong Ping, they might not be able to do it. Moreover, they were fighting with Fong Ping now. Who knew if the mastermind would come out to take advantage of them? As for Fong Ping, these fruits were not of much use to him now. If they were really treasures to recover strength, they would have been used long ago. The treasures in everyone's hands now were generally used to increase potential or heal some destructive injuries. These things were precious, but they were not as useful as imperishable substances in this place. After I kill him, I can get all these things back. Qi Huanyu said in his heart. Fong Ping had a lot of good stuff. Even a regular true king might not be as rich as this guy. On the other side, Fong Ping was secretly complaining about how poor he was. He really did not have many good stuff now, other than looting the battlefield earlier. Other than the cat fruit that Li Zhu had given him before he came in, he did not have any other treasures. The god-slaying saber was taken away. Other than the origin armor, Fong Ping did not have any treasures worth mentioning. The rank 9 combat boots were broken. The rank 8 divine armor was no longer useful to Fong Ping, so he gave it away. At this time, Fong Ping was almost at the same level as old Zhang. Fong Ping was still thinking about it when Kong Lingyuan said, "Be careful. We can't let them recover. Otherwise, if they attack us now, we'll all be in danger." "I know. I don't want much, just 8 or 10. I won't trade even if a powerhouse like Qi Huanyu wants it." Fong Ping was not really stupid. The others were fine, but Qi Huanyu and the others, in fact, these guys all had storage rings and brought a lot of stuff with them. Judging from their appearance, they did not seem to have used up as much as the others, so they might not need this. Despite Fong Ping's words, Jiang Kuei and the others were still slightly dissatisfied. To them, Fong Ping was really crazy to support the enemy at this time. No matter how many good things there were, you had to be alive to take them back. The catacombs were not stupid. If they traded with you now, and you said 50 yuan, then it was 50 yuan. That was because they understood that healing was more important than treasures at this time. Fong Ping was a smart person. Why could he not see through it? Fong Ping did not say much. On one hand, he really needed these treasures. On the other hand, he still wanted to earn money. How many wealth points did 50 yuan of imperishable substance cost? Only 500,000 points. 100 yuan was only 1 million points. However, the first fruit that he traded for brought him more than 50 million wealth points. In other words, this thing was worth more than 500 billion. And this was not the best. Next, Fong Ping continued to trade with others. However, the fruit that the other party gave was not too good. There was a fruit that could restore mentality, but a fruit that could restore the origin. After a long time, he only got one. In the end, Fong Ping paid 1,200 yuan of imperishable substance in exchange for 9 fruits. These guys were the overlords of the catacombs. Some were even monster plants. The rank 9 fruits were of limited help to the true kings. They, on the other hand, urgently needed them. Therefore, the probability of these treasures ending up in their hands was higher than with the true kings. Fong Ping spent 12 million wealth points on 9 fruits. On the other hand, the gains were 9 energy fruits that were worth cities and close to 500 million wealth points. At this moment, Fang Ping's wealth points, which had almost dropped below 2 billion, had recovered to more than 5 billion points. Reselling armaments on the battlefield is really profitable. Fang Ping chuckled, not trying to hide it. On the other side, Qi Huanyu did not speak. When there were no more exchanges, he said coldly, "Fang Ping, now that these monsters have appeared in this place, both of us will eventually go to the location of the Demon Emperor's relics. It's better to work together than to act alone." Fang Ping chuckled. "I'm afraid that you guys will trick me. I won't do this." Qi Huanyu cursed in his heart. This guy was so stubborn. It was really annoying. Humph. Let's go. Qi Huanyu did not say much. He led his men and left quickly. Fang Ping was about to lead his men to catch up when Qi Huanyu and the others sped up and disappeared in the blink of an eye. He did not give Fang Ping a chance to catch up. If you want to go, go on your own. If you want to take advantage of them, dream on. Fang Ping did not care. He looked at the others and smiled. Then we'll grind them slowly. It's good. Don't rush everyone. It's not that easy to get the items. The appearance of these source demons is not right. I think they'll be in trouble if they go early. Those who need to heal, heal. Those who need to recover, heal. Fang Ping, have nothing but some imperishable substance. Fang Ping looked at Yu Wuhua and the others, smiling faintly. At least we're fighting side by side this time. Fang Ping, am not the kind of person who cares about small profits. Naturally, I'll buy the imperishable substance from the catacombs. You guys, I'll give you some. As he spoke, Fang Ping condensed quite a lot of imperishable substance. Overseas Immortal Islands, Weiyu Mountain, and the other forces received some. At least 100 yuan per person. With that, these people were satisfied. They no longer bothered about the deal between Fang Ping and the other party. Fang Ping did not care about them anymore. He sent a voice transmission to Kong Lingyuan and the others. Maintain your peak combat strength. After eating the birch fruit, your mentality is growing. If you use the imperishable substance to hone your body, it'll be good if you can increase your vitality by 1 calorie. The imperishable substance is enough. 5 billion wealth points, 250,000 yuan. It was definitely enough. Fang Ping passed one of the fruits he had just received to Kong Lingyuan. Kong Lingyuan was a little dazed. He looked at Fang Ping without saying a word. Take it, Elder Kong. When the battle starts later, if there's a situation where the origin is overflowing, consume it immediately. Kong Lingyuan almost cursed out loud. This son of a B***TCH. I haven't even been seriously injured, and he's already thinking about my origin overflowing. Cursing aside, Kong Lingyuan still kept it. It was better to be prepared. This was not bad either. Everyone said no more and began to move forward. The battle was still going on. Large numbers of origin demons continued to appear, continuing to block the way. At the same time, the central altar area, the 4 statues were revived again. We're almost there. Compared to the stuttering at the beginning, the statues were speaking much more fluently now. In the south, an extremely skinny statue did not move. Instead, a voice was heard. Is there a God's messenger inside? We haven't been contacted. In the north, a statue's voice was heard too. The God's messenger might be inside. The divine sect will not give up on the gate of all beings. We should also return. They had been guarding this place for more than 2,000 years. For more than 2,000 years, they didn't dare to be careless, fearing that the gate of all beings would be taken away. Now, the final moment had finally arrived. The gate of all beings has been condensed. I can already feel the vastness of the great path. A statue spoke again with great emotion. 4 true God-level experts. They had stayed in this dark place for more than 2,000 years without any energy to cultivate. Some of the treasures they had brought with them had long been used up. These years, if they hadn't sealed themselves, they might not have been able to maintain their golden body. Now, it was time to reap the harvest. This time, they would return to the divine sect with the gate of all beings. They would be rewarded for guarding this place for more than 2,000 years. Maybe they could even covet the emperor level. There is still some origin in this place, so it can condense the origin demons. Can the master of this place really be revived? Someone whispered again. The next moment, a statue said slowly, "Too many experts have died here. Even if they are revived, they might not be the original people. These years, we haven't found the core of the origin of this place. After returning to the divine sect, we can let the venerable sovereigns come here to explore and find the core. Maybe we can control this place and revive a top expert for the divine sect." The two masters of the Monster Palace are outside. Everyone, be careful. These two people used to cooperate with the divine sect. I'm afraid they have changed their minds. These years, they have also sent people in. After leaving, don't fight with them. Wait for the order of the divine emissary. The divine emissary must have brought the order of the divine sect. That's right. The statues communicated for a while again, and soon fell into silence. More than 2,000 years had passed, and they were about to run out of energy. Now, they could only reduce their energy consumption as much as possible. When they left this place, they could quickly recover. Maybe after more than 2,000 years of hard cultivation, they could go further. At this moment, the statues all thought of the bead behind them at the same time. Sealed in the bead was the gate of all beings, the gate of the great path. These years, they had felt the real aura of the great path, which was also a vital help for them. Unfortunately, the gate of all beings couldn't be opened. Otherwise, they might have a glimpse of the Emperor's path. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.